call the Woodbury Select Board meeting to order on Monday, December 8th, 2025 at 6:02. Any adjustments to the agenda?
Just a warning that the Woodbury Volunteer Fire Department, they're just gonna come in and submit their budget and their articles. They were gonna come in at 6, but then she remembered they have to go to Calais for 6 o'clock. So
they're on
I
at
told them whenever they
7:10.
get here, we'll just deal with them because they're,
Sure.
it's gonna be short.
Okay. Sounds good. So that's on at 7:10, but we'll put them in, sneak them in whenever.
Yeah, just.
Okay. If there's nothing else, the next agenda item is to approve the minutes from November 10th. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the minutes.
All right, there's a motion to approve the minutes of November 10th as written. Any discussion?
Is it November 10th?
No.
November
November
24th.
November 24th, we have 10th on the agenda.
Oh, geez, look at that.
Oops.
So we're gonna amend the motion to approve the minutes from November 24th.
And now I've written November 24th on there. It should be December.
Is there
8th.
any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor of approving the minutes from November 24th, please say aye.
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 Motion passes.
There is no agenda.
There's no agenda.
It's going to be free form tonight.
I don't think you got to sign because you weren't here.
Yeah, oh, actually, right, I should,
Here.
Here's your copy.
Oh, thank you.
Can you bring this to Robin?
Yes, of course.
Thank you.
public comment. John, I think you're on the agenda later, or do you have it?
I'm here as an innocent bystander.
Okay,
No,
no
you're on
comments,
the
though?
agenda also, but
All right,
I did not put myself on the agenda.
I put you on.
There's no auditor's report.
okay,
Oh, okay.
great. It's gonna be
It's
making,
the monthly letter that you got.
that we read.
All three.
All right, thank you. So our town clerk unfortunately is not feeling well and won't be here today, so we're gonna skip the town clerk's report. Unless, Diane, you wanna fill us in on
Oh, I
the
did want
portion-
to, I just got a call. It was kind of out of the blue. They said I had contacted them a while back. I don't remember doing that, but from Anderson Windows, and they wanted to come and look at our windows. And I said, sure, great. So Robin and I met with them a week or so ago.
Okay,
Yeah, and I explained to him that, I mean, they like to do houses, but I explained to him that our building wasn't that much different or bigger than a house, so they came and,
yeah.
yeah. So anyways, the bottom line was $17,000 or something for 5 windows.
For 5
Only
minutes.
5.
Yeah, there were 5 on the front.
Seems
We just
high.
looked at those.
Yeah.
What?
Seems high.
I'm sorry?
That seems high.
Yeah, it did seem, but it's a start.
Yep.
You know, if we end up calling, if it's gonna be that much, we're gonna have to go out to bid anyways.
Yeah.
So if we can call a couple people, other people, and have them come in and then do an RFP and invite them to bid and,
And that's including the install, right? That
Yes.
17,000?
yeah.
Okay.
But likely this is gonna be on the back burner anyways, right?
Yeah,
Because it
probably.
doesn't seem like we're gonna have the funds to do that.
Well, we don't have FEMA funds, but
No.
we might have some.
Well, moving right along, let's move on to the treasurer's report. And Lily.
All right, so treasury report today is fairly small. So starting off with our fund balances, the tax revenue that we collected in the general fund has been distributed across funds. On the next page over, you'll notice that the HERF fund remains in the negative, which is expected. I'll give you guys a second to look at that. It's the third one down.
What page, I'm sorry?
The second page. Oh, I
The back
went
one.
too far.
Great.
Oh, the second page for the first, okay. Oh, okay, thank you.
So it's still currently in the negative. As expected, over the next 3 quarters, we're going to be receiving Swenson's reimbursements, which will help bring this balance up. And then as previously discussed, we'll transfer potentially an additional 30,000, depending on what we get from subsidies this year, of unassigned fund balance from the highway fund to strengthen the HERF fund balance, bring that balance back up to zero, so we're not in the negative. And then during our upcoming budget discussions, we can determine what amount we want to allocate for the HERF fund for next year. Looking at our budget versus actuals, no item lines jumped out at me for this month. We have received approximately 60% of our expected tax revenue for the general fund, and all other line items appear to be on track. We've been billed for the fire department capital replacement fund and third quarter operating expenses, West Woodbury plowing, and have issued all appropriations for the year as of this meeting. From this point forward, the remaining budget should primarily be operational. Salaries, insurance, utilities, road maintenance, moving forward.
And Lily, is 60% of our tax revenue at this point?
For the
Stay-
general fund.
For the general fund,
Yeah.
okay.
Well, we've already paid out the school.
Yep, we
Money,
paid out
right.
the school, we paid out our funds, and now we're just, collecting the taxes.
I guess that, my question is that a standard at this time of year? Or where are we compared to years? You may not know this.
She might
years
not know
past.
that.
You know,
Yeah,
I would say we're fairly in the range. Historically, it's kind of seemed that we collect about 50% in our current tax revenue and then about 50% or less in delinquencies. So that's kind of how it plays out. If you look at previous year's budgets, you'll see the current tax revenue, what we've taxed. Let's say 400,000. At the end of the year, you usually see numbers like 200,000 for current tax revenue and 200,000 for delinquencies. 50-50 usually isn't a perfect split.
We don't, not half of our taxes go delinquent. You're not saying that, are you?
Well, not half of our taxes, but
Okay.
the discrepancy here, or the confusing part here, is that we pay out all of our funds and the education tax first. So all remainder funds end up in the general fund. So we, when we're collecting taxes, we don't break it down through this amount goes to education, this amount goes to highway, this amount goes to general. When we input them into the system, we just input them into the system under the general fund, and then we distribute it out. So it's just how it usually plays out. In a perfect world, what you would really be looking at is, we went delinquent on 10% of the education tax, we went delinquent on 6% of the highway, we went delinquent on 2% of the
We
general.
need to do that.
So, does that make
Okay.
sense?
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So no cause for alarm there.
No, not
Okay.
yet. Like I've mentioned to you guys, I'll do about 6 months review of where our finances are at. We'll have a little bit better picture after January 1st to see where they are.
John, did you want to add?
I don't know about the historical, but, from an auditing point of view, there are other towns our size that allow taxpayers to pay incrementally through the year. That percentage is higher of the overall taxes that have been collected, higher than 60%, right, in terms of what we bill. But still, people are struggling to pay taxes.
So can I rephrase what you just said so that I understand it? You're saying that in towns that have incremental tax payments, they are able to not have such a large one-time discrepancy in their general fund because,
More to help people pay their taxes.
yeah,
Yeah.
okay.
Because in some cases, some towns are prepaying, but in some towns they're postpaying. So it may not help with the cash flow, but more to help people pay taxes.
They must have, those towns must be carrying a fund balance from year to year to be able to do that.
Sure.
We couldn't,
Most
yeah.
towns do,
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, but I don't think Woodbury's situation is any worse, but that's a number that gets my attention, that people having trouble paying taxes.
But the amount that went delinquent this year wasn't a whole lot more than what delinquent last year.
so far.
No, they're delinquent as of
No.
the day they were due and the whatever.
But at the
Yeah.
end of the year, I think John's saying at the end of the year, we don't know
Yeah,
yet,
the
right?
October 3rd, no, but the October 30th
Right.
date,
I
at that
understand.
point, what's delinquent is like 220,000 or 240,000. I don't know, you figured that out for me
Last
the
year
other day.
was 243,
And
and
this-
this year was 260.
60, yeah, so it's a little bit more this year. Not a huge amount.
More in dollars, but our taxes went up as well, so percentage-wise, you may be the same.
Probably wash.
Well, yeah, maybe. Who would have thought that?
Yeah.
Sorry to sidetrack that.
Yep. Any other questions on the fund balance report or my narrative for the budget versus actuals? I put on here the goodness, where are my words today? The winter salt contract. I talked to Alfie, he says he usually signs that. I thought it was a select board thing that you guys need to sign, but it turns out Alfie's been doing it himself. That has been signed and I'll be sending it in. After discussing with Alfie, it looks like there was about a 10% increase in their prices. Last year it was $90, this year it's $101. So that's a lot. Next thing we're looking at is the school generator contract. We talked about this last meeting, so I just want to follow up, brought an extra copy for you guys as well.
Is this the same one we looked at?
Yes.
So, Lizzie, you want to report on what you found out?
Yeah, so I talked to Paul Cerruti from the fire department, and he says that they do check on the generator monthly, and that he expects that they'll be doing that into the foreseeable future.
Okay.
There's no end to that planned. So that being said, he and I talked a little bit. I kind of picked his brain about what his recommendations were. He thought the minor service, or what is it?
Yeah,
It's the lesser of
The
the
one
two.
major, yeah.
Yeah.
The one major service.
He thought that was fine, especially because it's getting checked on, the fluids are getting checked. So
That's what we did last year too.
it
Yeah.
is. Yep.
There's nothing for us to sign, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
just have to choose it and then it'll be in the next,
okay.
um,
Michael, it's $1,021 because we didn't prepay, so we lost $40 or $50.
that sums it up for me
Okay.
today until we get to
Thank
budgeting.
Oh, all right.
John, you are on the agenda, we can get rid of that, or if you have anything you want to add in terms of the auditor's report, we got it, we saw it. And
Everything, looks fine, it's operating routinely and it's a level of comfort that the select board in town ought to have. All looks good.
Thank you.
And all the town report stuff is,
So I sent around a note today, I talked to the printer today, so
yeah.
mid-January is when.
yeah. So
we get stuff.
do you remind all the people who have to submit reports
I'll
that
get
it's time
with
to?
Rob, and then between the two of us, we will do that.
Oh, yeah.
And then Roy and I will go over the financial reports,
Yeah.
including perhaps changing some of them this year, just to make them more user-friendly.
Mhm.
So,
Be nice.
yeah, so we have about a month.
Yeah, oh. So, we gotta do a select board report.
And minutes from last year's town meeting.
Oh, gosh! Oh, Robin gave me these. I did not want to read this again, but I finally did. But this copy was supposed to be the copy that Steve just edited recently. But I don't know whether he did it in color or what, but there's no way I could edit this. I mean, there's no indication of what he edited, and I'm certainly not gonna go back and read them side by side, so I just made a few more corrections, and I'll get this back to Robin. And oh shoot, I forgot to bring you that Worcester report, I keep forgetting. They did a truncated version of the town meeting minutes. I don't know whether you might be able to do something like that rather than putting 8 pages in there.
Well, whatever it is, we have to approve it, right? And have we approved the?
No, you
I thought
don't,
we
no,
approved
you
it.
don't have to approve it, the chairman at the time and the moderator just have to sign it.
Got it,
Yeah,
right,
you don't have to approve it.
right. Yeah, now I remember.
Mhm.
Thank you, John, thank you, Lily. Move right on to Skip's recovery officer's report.
This may take longer than 5 minutes.
Yeah, I only
It's all
gave
right.
him 5 minutes,
Yeah.
but
So,
you can have John's time.
okay. So there's good news.
Mm.
For the 2024 disaster, I signed off on the final documentation, and that would be signing off on the administrative costs. And I had to swear on my grandchildren's birth dates that everything was true, and I had to attest to that. I also reviewed and signed the Category Z financial report. And so the total between the financial reports for Category Z and the ERAF portion, which is the Emergency Relief and Assistance Fund,
Good, then that's
that's the state share.
the state share.
Yeah, and that's
I don't remember.
7.5% of the total. I
Mhm.
think the total disaster was about $110,000. So what Lily can expect is about $13,500 pretty soon into some account, wherever that account goes, or wherever these money goes. Any questions on that? So we should be done with.
I mean, isn't that $13,000? Haven't we been waiting for that for quite a while?
Yes,
Okay. It's the same 13
the
then.
short answer,
Yeah.
yes. Been waiting for the documentation, this documentation since June
Mm.
to be sent. But, you know, they were away for a month, so I suppose that caused them to slow down.
Oh, really? They got laid off, did they?
They were away for a month, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, interesting.
So for the 2023 disaster, that's a lot different. So the good news for that is the state and FEMA accepted the statement of work changes. That changed the statement of work from the DeWolf estimate of $500,000 and $400,000 respectively, which merely replaced the bridges with new bridges, with the RFP that went out, and we replaced those bridges with culverts, which is much more graceful and I believe longer lasting fix than just putting in 2 more bridges. So anyhow, that's done. However, there is a less cost associated with both of those projects, as we all know. So FEMA accepted the statement of work, but also now they want the money back. They want to de-obligate the obligated funds. And so I threw together a spreadsheet when I got home today, and we can walk through that. So it's a significant amount of money that they're looking to claw back. And
Including 101,972 that we already spent.
well, see, I want to strategize with you guys on that. And the last part of my report is strategy on going forward. How do we want to deal with the state, and how do we want to deal with FEMA? I can go to that right now if you want. Do we want to just, roll over and say, okay, we'll send you back the $540,000?
So is it that much?
Yeah, so that, I'll go through the spreadsheet.
Okay.
Or do we want to say, wait a minute, I have stacks of documentation indicating that any excess obligated funds the town could use as long as they use for mitigation projects. And I have it from the FEMA program delivery manager, I have it from the state of Vermont recovery officer that says you can do that. So armed with that information, we produced 3 RFPs, and one of the RFPs was successfully bid on, contracts were signed, and the 2 culverts were installed. And I'll look at that later on the spreadsheet. But I have to find out exactly what they're looking for. So I want to know what the select board chooses to do. Do we want to fight them and say, no, you can't have your $540,000?
No, I think we should make a deal and say, we'll give you $375,000 back. $375,000 back.
I think we should-
And that's what's left,
I think we should.
right?
Right.
Yeah.
500 tax. We're not giving.
Well,
yeah.
that's up
And then we
to
can,
you to decide.
then we can think about a deal.
But it's up to you to be the deal maker.
I can do that, but I just want to know what kind of a deal you want me to do. I could go in and be very abrupt and say, wait a minute, you know, we're in the process of spending this on mitigation projects, as you told us we could do, and we have this amount of money left over, and we intend to move forward with other projects. If they say, no, you can't do that, then I'll bring that back to you folks and say, what do you want to do now? Do you want to fall back to, okay, how much do you have remaining in your treasury? And we could certainly give that back. I'm just hoping we didn't buy a new truck with this.
Oh, shoot.
No.
We do have a few extra culverts laying around in the yard, right?
Well, that's okay.
We can use
That's all part of
those.
mitigation, that's okay if there are culverts. If there's a $300,000 truck sitting there, that's not. So, you want to, go ahead.
Well, I don't know. I might have different thoughts on this than you guys do, but my personal feeling, I always thought it was weird that they were going to let us keep the excess money anyway. And it felt like a windfall and a benefit to the town for
That's
sure.
correct.
But I never thought it was really a good way for the government to be using funds. I always thought they should have checked in and, taken back any excess. So I personally would be okay with, giving back what we can, and we obviously have documentation to support the fact that what we spent was approved. So that's my feeling. Maybe that doesn't match other people's feelings.
I don't think we'd have very much luck trying to keep the whole thing. If they've already said they're
Well,
coming after it.
That's why I
What?
was so cautious in the beginning, because once I found out how much they were going to send, they sent us $815,000 for that project, those two projects. And I knew that was going to be a windfall. So that's why I researched, reached out to the state and
Yeah,
FEMA, because
you
it
did.
seemed too good to be true. You know,
But because of the way things are going with the federal government, we always kind of knew there's a possibility that they could do what they want.
It's not the feds after the money, right? It's the-
It is the
Well,
feds.
yeah, it's FEMA.
Yeah, it says right here, last word they got from Region, that's Region 1 in Boston. Unfortunately, FEMA will need to pull funds from the two small projects, Town Highway 23 and 24. So,
Skip, sorry to interrupt you. I just want to make sure I'm understanding correctly. Are they trying to take back the leftover money after we paid for the two culverts, or are they trying to take back all of what they gave us for those?
well, they gave us $815,000. Let me look at my spreadsheet. Look at your spreadsheet. Again, there's extra copies of it if you want to get bored.
And we spent, on the approved projects, we spent
So if
$274.
you look at the last column on the first page of the spreadsheet, and you go down to the last two rows, you see the best available cost, and that's the RFP cost. Okay, the RFP for Town Highway 24 was $161,000. Excuse me, the RFP for Town Highway 23 was $143,000, and the federal cost share is $144,900 and $129,442. So what they're looking to pull back, to go to the next sheet. And the first two rows are what they sent based upon the DeWolf engineering. Okay, so it was obligated, the activity deadline, that's the deadline to complete the projects. They sent us a total of 1 million, oh, they didn't send us 1 million. That was the DeWolf estimate, $1,006,000 and change. The federal cost share at 90% totaled $905,000. Okay, so going down to the next couple of rows, for the Town Highway 23 and 24 bridge, what they did is they took that $905,000 and factored it took 10% out of it. So what they sent us on March 3rd of this year is $815,215,000. The 90% cost of what we actually spent is $274,342. That leaves a remainder of $540,000 that they could be asking for.
Of
So-
that, sorry, go ahead.
Out of that 815,215. So the
But
mitigation,
it still is engineering costs to come
yeah,
out
I
of
still
it.
need to
Yeah.
capture Ruggles engineering costs
Yeah.
and any other costs associated with those two projects. Okay,
And they haven't asked for a specific amount at this
No.
point?
no,
Gotcha, okay.
fortunately.
No, it sounds like they want it all. I mean,
But what is
isn't
it?
that what she said in that email?
Well, I sent her an email today. We'll need to pull back funds. So what do you
Right.
mean by pull back funds? How much?
Oh, okay.
You know, what are you looking for by pulling back?
Mhm.
So we're still in the beginning stages of this process. So the mitigation projects which we completed for town hall roof, town office roof, Buck Lake, Brook Stream, cleanup and culverts is about $101,000 total. So with that, future distributions for this disaster, the state ERAF contribution will be $49,000. The Category Z administration costs total of about $23,000 for a total of $72,000. So that would leave us in the lurch by $29,829.04, about that.
So if we use our state contribution,
Right, then that's at 7.8%.
Yeah,
The
that-
Category Z administrative costs today are $23,032.67, and that's at 100% of the cost. So that would be, deal number 2 would cost us about $30,000.
but yeah,
Yeah.
okay. So we should have been getting that state, or the federal percentage anyways, but,
Yeah, the state will come through eventually.
oh, okay.
Yeah,
But the
categories-
7.8% is the federal, right? I mean, the state. Okay, I'm sorry.
The state
Yeah.
ERA is 7.8, the federal
It's
is
90%.
90%.
Okay.
It's good. Can you clarify the total amount of the ERAF funds that we were expecting to get? I have 113K, is that incorrect?
Yeah,
It is incorrect.
yeah, it's 7.8% of FEMA's 90%. There's a lot of percents there, but they don't do it on actuals. You know, the actual cost, it's factored in this case by 90% or by 10%, so take 10% from the total cost. For the total cost, put it back over. And you look at the first page, next to last column, the best available cost. Okay, that's what the actual cost is. Okay, so for the two bridges, it's 161 and 143. Those are the bid prices. So the best the federal government will pay for those is $144,009 and $129,442 respectively. That's the best you're going to get from the federal government. What we can expect from the state would be 7.8% of $161,000 and $143,000, or 7.8% of the total $629,000.
So the category Z, we still have to pay out, right?
No, you don't pay that.
We're
Category
not gonna
Z
pay
is-
you?
Not all of that, but it's a cumulative thing. When I submit my time sheet, okay, that's category Z. So what I have to do is now compile all my time sheets, which I have, and make that a more current factor, I mean, a more current figure. It's a little bit more than $23,000.
Mhm.
So, and that's reimbursed at 100%. Capped at 5% of the total project's cost. So we're well within that.
Hmm.
I guess I have a different opinion in that this money, we did a lot of research, we made all the documentation that said we could use these funds.
Right.
We could have used all the funds based on the information that we had for mitigation projects, which it's not like it's going into, right into people's pockets. It's going in town roads, it's going into
Sure.
roads that people in town drive on. It's gonna, and the very word mitigation means that potentially a future storm, future flood is gonna be mitigated, and the damage from something like that could potentially be much less, so that it's a cost savings for the future,
Right, yeah.
it's an investment in the future. So I would say we should take your first approach, which is look at all this documentation. This is what we plan to do with this money. It's my opinion.
I'm sorry, I can't hear you.
I like Skip's first approach,
Yeah.
which is,
Well, that's just one approach.
yeah, sorry, the first approach that he suggested, which is we should lay out all the documentation and say we're planning on using this for mitigation funds, or for mitigation projects in the town.
Oh.
Yeah. My letter that I'm putting together, it's in draft form.
Mhm.
We'll say that, I'll give them dates and where I got the information from the state and from FEMA, that you can use these. So what I'm going to do is, part of the letter is going to say we're currently in the process of promulgating 3 RFPs. The 3 RFPs, one's under contract and the work is completed, and it's to repair the roof so it can sustain a hurricane force wind at 90 miles an hour. The other 2 RFPs are basement waterproofing and showerproof windows for the town offices. And I'll say that we've withdrawn those 2 RFPs, but we hope we can continue to use those as mitigation projects.
Well, how about the other culverts that weren't finished yet? Those seem more important to me than windows.
Well, I could identify those other culvert projects that we have potential engineering costs.
In reality, we're not gonna do the basement thing. We didn't even get a decent bid. We don't need to dig up the basement concrete and put a,
I think the bigger picture is more important here, which is that we should make a push to be able to keep these funds
Okay.
based on the fact that not only we have FEMA folks telling us we can use these funds. So, I mean, it's not like we went out and spent them without asking.
right.
And so this was the information we were given. This is the information, I think, until they say absolutely not.
Yeah,
Then we'll, but
So you think we should go to try to keep it all?
Yep.
Not just what we've already spent?
I wouldn't put that in my letter that we want to keep it all.
Well, that sounds like it.
I would put it in the letter,
We still need that truck.
saying that, we hope to continue with our mitigation project utilizing these excess obligated funds or something like that.
Yeah.
Because the mitigation officer even agreed with me. I have his email saying that, yeah, you can do this stuff. And he agreed back when the RFPs were just being written. I think I sent him a draft of the RFP and the H&H studies. And he said, yeah, don't use the DeWolf.
He said what?
Do not use the DeWolf estimates
Oh.
as a statement of work. It's right on the FEMA portal,
Uh-huh.
unless that's gonna disappear. But that's right on the FEMA portal saying, yeah, don't use don't use the DeWolf estimates, use the H&H studies. So he, as the mitigation officer, changed the statement of work in the FEMA portal. So, I don't know if it's because things have changed administratively, that they're looking to claw back money just as a general principle. Don't know. But I feel like we should fight.
And I think it'd be really important to identify the number of other road mitigation projects that we have. Even though we don't have, maybe all the studies for them or the engineering for them, but
I have that on a list.
great.
Okay.
I think that would be important because,
I'll put it as future projects include blah, 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 blah.
I mean, if it prevents real damage in town, I mean, like I said, it's just preventative.
And I'll send a draft out before I send that out.
But I'll say I'm one opinion, so.
What do you think, Lizzie?
I'm conflicted because as a payer of federal taxes, I feel one way, and as a citizen of the town, I obviously, want to see our town benefit as much as they can. I'm good with writing a letter and pleading our case and trying to keep it and not spending any more.
Yeah,
Not spending any more. No, don't spend any more.
so, yeah, I think that he'll be like wasting his time on a fool's errand to try to keep all that money. If we can concentrate on trying to keep what we've already spent, that's still gonna be a big bonus that we didn't expect. And if we have to give back $300,000 or whatever,
I just feel like we at least should start at the higher place, and then potentially maybe we will have to give back what we have. But I'm a little nervous to start.
so.
My opinion.
Well, they're asking for money back, so if we start saying no, then
Well, you might be able to make.
eventually we might,
If you ask up front to keep all of it, as we've been given permission for, then they might be able to come back and make a deal with us. If we don't give it all back, maybe we can at least cover our expenses of some of the projects that we put together, knowing that we had the right to do. So I would ask for, keep all of it and then make a deal with them. If they
Yeah.
continue to fight, make a deal with them.
Maybe they'll just see the error of their ways. And just say, all right, whatever, you keep it.
Well, yeah, we've got the documents, we've done everything correctly.
Definitely jumped through.
yeah, I think if you make an easy case on keeping what we've already spent. But the rules change, the rules changed, and if we had done all those projects right away, which there's no way we could have, but if we had, then we'd have more to ask for, but fortunately, we took a cautious approach. So,
Skip needs some direction.
yeah. What do you think, Lizzie? You're in the middle.
I'm okay with asking for all of it back
Okay.
to start with.
Okay, I'll get that letter out this week, and I will hear back from the state about, what her email actually meant, how much are they looking for, because it's open-ended. What I do have to do, is we want to get the ERAF money from the state, and the Category Z administrative funds from the state. I have to make out a project completion and certification report with the actual dollars. So once I figure out between Lizzie and I how much will those engineering charge for, making the RFP for both projects, and I don't know how much project management he did while the projects were ongoing.
Don't we have that? Didn't I see that somewhere?
Well, he did some. He was there at least once.
But I haven't seen an invoice from him saying project management for
Oh, okay.
Town Highway 23 and 24, or engineering services to, create an RFP for Town Highway 23, 24. That's the kind of invoice documentation that I need and FEMA would require too.
You must have invoiced us by now.
I'm sure there are invoices kicking around, I just don't have them. So Lily and I are going to meet sometime this week. So spend a couple hours. Yeah.
Familiar.
So when the ERAF money comes in, where should she put it? Not in this FEMA line, we don't wanna make that look any bigger than it is.
So, question, before we start talking about that. In the last, let me connect the dots here. In the last select board meeting, we talked about $103,500 in ERAF funds, and then also $13,500 in ERAF funds.
Yeah, 13,500 was for 4810.
2024?
How much is for 4810?
About 13,500.
Okay.
So I had the ERAF funds at $49,111.
Okay.
So we'll have to look at that again, Lily.
With that 103.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because ERAF funds are based on actuals.
Okay.
So, yeah, well,
Your estimated is 49 for 2023 flood.
yes.
Yeah. Okay. Diana, accounting wise, because we use the FEMA mitigation funds for the work that we had, or because we use the FEMA fund for work we had done during the floods or directly after the floods, and not just for mitigation, I would first put that money into that FEMA account, and then from my understanding, we can use the ERAF funds as we want, right? And then we can essentially transfer them out.
I mean, just because it says we have a certain amount of money, that doesn't mean that's the amount that they're gonna want back. They don't even know what we've got
That's what I'm
here.
trying to find out, how much
Yeah,
they want back.
yeah.
So, and from this account, the several accounts that you sent me, we could take monies from that. Since there isn't a mitigation account set up as a standalone account, and the 815,000 got melded in to the highway account.
No. There's a FEMA 2023 and a FEMA 2024 account.
Okay,
The FEMA 2023 account was used for the work that was done on the flood, and then also after the third, after we received that 815,
Okay.
it was used for the mitigation funds.
okay. Yeah, we'll have to sit down.
Okay.
And I think anything after March 5th, we should take a careful look at
Okay.
and see how that money was spent. Any questions? And I still hope to leave by January 1st, 2026.
You hope.
Jeez, it's coming right up.
Yeah.
So does he. Good luck.
I'm late already.
You are. right.
Thanks,
So
Gail.
I'll get that draft letter out. And, sit with Lily this week. And we'll move on.
And should I move on?
Come on, that's it.
Thank you. So John Gordon is here, thank you for coming and talk about the status of the buyouts.
So, sorry for the delay. They seem to have me in their system with somebody else, and so the emails that they thought they were sending me were going to some Jeff at Chase Bank. So that's why
Say that again?
the emails that they thought that they were sending me were going to some Jeff such at Chase Bank. I don't
Oh,
know. So,
okay.
anyway, that's why we were having this conversation a month or two ago.
Oh,
Anyway, so you saw, I emailed you the TVA, or something like that, I can't remember, I sent it to my wrong email address, so I don't have it, but it's basically a document saying, this is what we're all planning on doing, right, everyone? Right? Basically, it's basically, before the project starts paying lawyers to draw up the documents, it's trying to make sure the owner and the town are agreeing that, yes, we want to move forward, and yes, this is the amount, and that sort of thing. So that's what the document that I sent you last week, I think I sent you all last week, that's what that's about. It's based upon the assessed value of the property. Right now, we're just talking about the old fire station. Assessed value of property minus payouts that have already occurred to.
Why, that doesn't seem fair. And we have to pay, we have to lose the money that was, you know, I don't know, it just
So
doesn't,
there's payouts to the fire department.
yeah,
Some of the payout went to repairs,
yeah,
so that's credited back, basically. Some of the payout, so basically we had to track everything that went to repairs, we had to track everything that went to like stuff that was inside the building.
mm-hmm,
And so this, obviously that was taken, that was not credited to the building.
mm-hmm.
So, basically that was the calculation, the duplication of benefits. So if we couldn't show that, if the fire department couldn't show that it went to, my did or did not go straight, if they had to be able to show that the payout went to contents or repairs, otherwise it would be subtracted from transaction amount, the purchase amount, basically.
So this $75,000, that's what they got from the,
They got
VLCT insurance?
Yeah, they got $75,000. Part of that went to, they showed repairs.
Yeah.
And part of that went to contents. So the original estimate, or the assessment was around 150, I don't remember off the top of my head. but it was-
168, yeah?
What's that?
168?
Yeah, so, and then, like I said, the fire department was able to demonstrate what, like $40,000 worth of contents and repairs.
And did they get to keep some of it? I mean, is some of it like cash that they kept? Did they spend the whole $75,000 on repairs? Gee, you're just getting here just in time.
We're talking about the duplication of benefits for the fire department, and I was trying to explain about how the assessed value on the building was 168, I think you said, Diane. And then the payout on the insurance was around 75. So you could say, well, 168 minus 75 takes it down to 90 odd, but then the amount that was claimed for contents and repairs takes it back up to 128, so that would be the.
Plus, we invested 30,000 back into this building to get it usable again. I believe they add that back in.
Yeah, so that takes us back up
That,
to.
you invested it where? What?
Back into the old station last winter, so it was heated
Yeah.
to insulate it and fix the furnace and fix the,
Mhm.
So that takes the,
That was
well, not last winter, been a year off, 2 years ago.
so that takes the proposed purchase price back up to the 128. So, that voluntary agreement document that's, like everyone is basically, would be the fire department and the select board saying, yes, this is what we plan on moving forward. If everyone agrees, and then we start talking to the lawyers.
And where does the demolition and all that come out? Is that gonna be separate, or does
That
that
would
have
be
to come out
separate.
of this?
That would be separate.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, this is just to put the property under the ownership of the town, so the town can
Mhm.
demolish it. But the RFP for that would be after the sale.
Who would pay for that demolition?
It would be the project.
Would it be the town?
No, it would be when I say the project, it's the grant.
Oh, okay.
That was all part of the grant.
So like one of the final lines on the voluntary agreement form indicates that the purchase price would be paid by the grant project.
Oh, cool.
So is, whatever you get out of this 120-something thousand will show up in your budget at some point? You're not
It's
just
gonna
gonna
show
go
up to
spend
pay
it?
off our third of the Sanders grant that we're trying to do. got the 1.125 million to put 2,000, take that 2,000 square feet and put it on over there. That's what we've been working on through the Sanders grant.
I thought the Sanders grant was gonna be like 100%.
No, it's a whatever, 75, I wanna say.
Oh, gee, no.
Yeah, a lot of moving parts.
Yeah.
So John, I didn't see any place for a signature or that was on that.
Is there not one at the bottom?
There's a two for a witness for, oh, there's a seller, town of Woodbury authorized agent, that would be you, right?
Yeah, it would probably be select board chair.
And then you're gonna have to sign it as the president.
And so are you asking us to sign something now?
Well, first I would ask if you had any questions and whether you were still in an agreement. And then if you don't have any questions and are still in agreement, then absolutely sign. But I haven't had this discussion with the fire department president yet either, so.
Oh,
She's happy.
so they have to agree also? They have to sign
agree
here
also.
somewhere?
You agree,
It's,
right?
reading this thing, it's kind of confusing. It sounds like the town of Woodbury is the seller and the town of Woodbury is the buyer.
You gotta
And
deal with the
Yeah.
USDA.
But if you have questions, then I will do my best to answer them or run them down but that's the process that I understand.
So none of the money that comes from the demolition and the loss of the old fire station is gonna come back to the taxpayers. Is that right?
Correct.
Darn. Oh, well.
Well, it is in the form that you aren't gonna have to pay the third of the
Yeah, but
the replacement.
extra, whatever, room.
You know, it's gonna come back to the taxpayers if it then enables the match for the enhancement to the other property and then enhances the capability.
Was
of the fire
that
department.
in the budget to pay, was that 25% in your current budget?
No, we aren't spending it yet.
You weren't gonna spend it
We've
next
anticipated all
year?
along that we would get revenue from this revenue stream to do this.
Ah,
Because the grant's been in place 2 years or a year and a half or something now, both
Yeah.
grants.
Yeah,
It's just, it's a long and arduous process to get there.
yeah, there's no monies in this budget to
No.
go to that,
No,
because we don't think we need to do that.
well, so I've got this is the voluntary transaction agreement. It has a place for two sellers and a town of Woodbury agent. And then there's voluntary transaction agreement exhibit B, duplication of benefits certification, signature, two sellers and community agent. You want us to sign it?
Yes.
Yes, let's do it.
There will be another one of these coming along as well for the other property.
Oh,
yeah, 'cause the yellow house is under the same
how's
grant.
that coming and how's that coming? Any progress on that?
It's similar type of thing. They sent emails to Jeff at Chase. And so, now that we've reestablished communication, they're working on the VTA for that. They need a copy of the warranty deed before they can do the VTA on that, so I'll reach out to Robin for that. But it's a similar sort of process, making sure everyone is in agreement before we actually start spending money again.
Those need to be witnessed, Retta. Those need to be
Yeah.
witnessed.
I guess call me if you need.
Those signatures, Retta.
Okay.
Okay, good.
Can you sign it, and we've got a witness here?
I can sign this right now, who wants to be witnesses, or do you want me to do this later?
You should do it here. If you got a
Yeah, we
witness.
could do it now. We could have,
You don't have to chase somebody down.
we can have
We just
Lily
need a
do.
notary.
We don't have are you a notary? You don't need a notary, but
Well, I don't need just a witness.
just
It
a
needs two
witness.
sellers though, Paul,
Someone-
doesn't it?
We have plenty of
It
witnesses.
does, but maybe that's just, just in case there were two sellers, they put two lines there, I don't know.
Probably because many times you're talking about family homes that they could be
Uh-huh.
jointly owned.
Multiple
Yeah,
owners.
Mr. and Mrs. Woodbury, yeah.
I'm really hoping that they send emails to me in the future, we can keep this moving, we'll see.
Jim, what's your? Jeff, isn't he? Jeff. How long are we trying for about a year to fix that?
Well, the problem is everyone has to take their turn.
That's not surprising. Not surprising.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else in terms of the buyout, or should we move on to the?
That's the next step, and then, as soon as I get the other one back, we'll route it as well.
Thank you, John.
Do you have to witness all of them, or? don't you?
There was, 2 pages.
Yeah, there's, I mean, it says there's another signature of seller, but I don't know.
That one seller.
I don't
So-
think it's, I think that's just in case there's more than one.
Well, I think if, Jordan, if you don't mind, since we're already talking about the, issues with the fire department, we can kind of push you guys right to the front here, to talk about, submit your budget and articles for next year.
You wanna talk about the articles?
Why are you here? Just tell us what you're here for.
I'm just here, basically, if you have questions about, the budget. We've got, there's a truck loan payment, because we've got E1, there's about a couple payments left, so it should be paid off by 2027. The capital replacement fund is up, we've ordered a tanker, which is gonna cost about $500,000. We do have some money for that, and then a loan, we'll get a loan for that. You'll notice there's a truck maintenance reserve, we try to keep $20,000 in a bank account for like a catastrophic problem with the truck that you can't really budget for. But there's line 121, there's truck maintenance in the budget, which is just your normal budget, maintenance that we know we're gonna have to do. But it's up 4.9%, and that's about it. I do have, there's a change on an article, Article 1. No, Article 2. It says January 2026, it should be 2027.
Yeah, just, it's a year off, it should
It's a
be.
year off, I just missed one, because I copied it. So, yeah, that's,
Are the articles basically the same
yeah,
as
I
last year?
copied them the same from last year. Yeah.
Okay.
I've already had 2 or 3 people check them, so feel free to check them again.
Oh, we will.
Yes,
We will.
make sure those dates are
Mhm.
correct.
You wanna give that to electronically to John or to Lily?
I've already sent it to, I don't know if I sent it to Lily, did I?
I received it from Diana.
Because I
No.
sent it to all of you.
I did not, yeah,
Oh, man,
I did not get it.
All right,
I
well,
don't remember getting
I'll
it.
resend it.
We're
I'm
talking
on-
about where it lays out income, expense, and
The budget.
what you're asking.
Yes,
Should
yeah,
have been a budget sheet and then the articles.
yeah, because I know I emailed it to, I think,
No,
3.
I do have
I
it,
saw
yeah.
it.
It came from, it was forwarded from Diana. Yeah.
But
And-
I got a
Okay, I
copy.
guess I just looked at the part that said you wanna come to the
Yeah.
meeting.
Retta, was that something you needed action on from us, or was it more of just an FYI?
Just an FYI,
Oh,
and
because
if
you
you,
know you're gonna put the articles.
articles
vote.
in,
Yeah, I assume that's the case, right?
and then
I
Lily
think
was
so.
asking for them.
You're not voting on that.
Yeah, yeah.
You don't need to vote, I just wanted to make sure you're putting those in and.
Yeah.
all we need to
That-
know.
That's it.
Yeah,
I've got a question. So that $2,000 truck maintenance reserve, was that not asked for last year?
I don't think so.
So the way the truck
Okay.
maintenance reserve works is, we try to maintain 20,000 there, if we spend it out of there, we replace it the following year. In 1 year, we spend enough out of it, we didn't ask for it all in 1 year,
Okay,
or it was 2 years ago, and that's what you're seeing.
okay,
Hmm.
cool, great. We just didn't have an item line in our budget
Yeah.
for it, so.
Because anyone who has trucks knows sometimes it goes down to the truck place to be repaired and you get a $12,000 bill. And you were expecting a $2,000 bill, so our budget can't maintain that, so hence, I want to say 10 to 15 years ago, we moved that amount into a reserve fund to pad that, to fix that problem. If I blow up a pump, which has happened, there's 15,000. You guys have bought trucks recently to realize how much fun that is. Fire trucks are worse.
So this new tanker, is that gonna be replacing something?
It's replacing our 2006, anyone that owned an International, what were those terrible ones from the mid-2000s? The Max Force, we have one and it's a nightmare. It's, the last time it went into Clark's, it was $8,000 and it still goes into limp-in mode. Every time we head out on a call, which means you can only go 30 miles an hour. We're paying a portion of that truck out of the capital replacement fund. Unfortunately, you know, that we had anticipated those, you know, when 18, we set that fund up, that truck being 250,000, it's now 500,000. When we started getting prices, the prices are going up about 50,000 every 6 months. So hence, we bought a truck that was, I guess what you call a program truck.
Stock.
Something that they build that's stock. I think you guys bought a plow truck like that, right? Just bought one off the lot. That's kind of what we're doing, which arrested that price increase. So we know the fixed price, and the contracts on fire trucks are bad enough where they're saying, if the price goes up in the 2.5 years it's gonna take to build this truck, you have to pay the increase. So this changes that too. So now we know the number. I don't like the number, but that's what the number is. So we're gonna we pay for some, the rest has to be financed out of the, well, it was called the truck replacement fund. You'll see the other change, we're calling that from the truck payment fund right now, so it more accurately reflects what that money's doing. So we have one truck on there, got 2 more years worth of payments, and that one will have 10 years, paying off about $300,000.
Well then,
Yeah, it's a little scary when you go look at vehicles at the moment.
no, that's what Alfie found when we
Yeah, a
were
little scary.
looking for that truck.
It's in no surety. Like,
If we wait
literally look
another
at it, it's like,
year.
here's the contract, it's open-ended, like what? Never existed. Well,
There's no negotiating anymore.
nope.
No.
And there's, the problem in the fire truck market is through economic forces that are out of our control, there's fewer people building trucks, and that's limited the supply of the vehicles. I think town trucks are the exact same issue. And there's really not a lot of selection or choice, so this is a take it or leave it type deal.
Hopefully you won't get a white one though.
It's red.
Okay.
Ouch, that hurts.
Oh, but I would have bought a white one if it saved 50,000 every 6 months. That's just the way it is. You can't. You know, we're nervous looking at the replacement of an engine in 7 to 8 years. Maybe they're looking all over $1 million.
Oh.
We were thinking 500,000. So I don't know. Look at that thing.
Huh.
It's just unbelievable.
Yeah.
Any other questions for Paul or Rheta?
Or updates on anything like where we are with the USDA project. It's been submitted. We're just delayed because of the shutdown. We're waiting for the approval of the drawings. Once that's done, it would go out to bid. We'll see.
Yeah. How does that work with, and you have to have your match?
Yes,
before
we
you can
can't start anything before we match, so like that's what all these pieces gotta
Yeah.
kinda, I think we're gonna be okay. My nervousness is it keeps getting delayed. Construction prices don't go down every month too, so I'm like, are we gonna be able to, we gonna have enough money? So I don't know. Like, we've gotta go out to bid first, and we're not in the driver's seat. I had a meeting with Senator Sanders' office today. They're checking up to see how we're doing. I told them to give USDA a call, see if you can move on a little bit, because that's what we're waiting for. Up to this point, we've been waiting for planning, architectural design, knowing USDA, everything's got very explicit requirements for what kind of materials you can buy and what things you can fund and who can do it. And so we've got to show all that in drawings, and that's what we've been doing for the last 7 or 8 months.
We got a new pole.
We got a new utility pole. They moved the utility pole already.
No kidding. Where was it?
It's just moved it 6 feet, so it's off where the new apron's gonna be. We're still waiting for V-Trans to give us our curb cut. They have 8 people reviewing that little 30-foot curb cut.
Uh-huh.
This is the fun we're having.
Yeah.
Good luck.
Yeah.
Well, Robin was, is not here, but she was gonna contact the District 6 office and talk about getting some kind of a signal, you know, a lighted signal, so when people are coming north and you're pulling out, they don't
Well,
have
the
much
bank's
of a
supposed to
warning.
come down, and they
That'll
have
help.
not been helpful, let's just
Yeah.
say with V-Trans.
Yeah,
To me, some of that stuff would be a great idea, but it's not helpful.
yeah.
So they
Because
put
they're
that-
worried about town parking ordinances and all kinds of stuff that's not in their purview. As I said, 8 different people at V-Trans reviewed Woodbury's little curb cut. It's just stupid, so.
And they didn't want to give it to you at first.
Well, they don't want 2 curb cuts to one property.
Oh, for crying out
That's the
loud.
problem,
Well,
but we can't do it any other way.
And when you cut that bank down, it might be a better,
a
clearer
better view, yeah.
view to see whether we need a light, because I thought, it would be nice to have a flashing light,
Yeah.
but if that bank is cut down, maybe they can see the building.
Yeah.
I mean, it is.
I mean, it's not ideal, but it's where we are, so it just is what it is.
You know,
Line of sight is-
A flashing light might be good, even if the bank is cut down, because some people just,
Well, I'll see if they work with us on this, because I'm like, they just have been non-communicative so
Yeah.
far, and it was,
It's a state road, so you have
I
to
mean, this is
do
the stuff,
everything by
it was over $1,000 to have the engineer submit the permit application, and then to answer the 11 questions was another 1,500, his civil engineer, you see, it's just,
them.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just, can we make this a little smoother there, folks? We're spending a lot of money to do something that's gonna have to be done. That's just frustrating. It's our last, we'll have to get a fire safety permit, pretty much, we'll go to town zoning, but, I don't think that's gonna be an issue, it's just,
Yeah.
hopefully we get to bidding soon, because my concern now is we're so far into the winter, can we get a contractor for next summer? Because every time we delay, the price goes up.
Your other contractor who did this building, are they interested?
Well, they could be, I mean, I wish I
Yeah,
could have
no.
just, if I could have just turned them loose,
Oh.
building it last summer, it would have
Yeah.
probably done it for half the money, because they just moved the excavator over, and, I mean, but I can't do it that way, we've had to, just so you know, I have an architect, I have a structural engineer, I have a geotechnical engineer, I have an electrical engineer, I have a mechanical engineer, what else have I got? Oh, I have a
Plumber?
I have a
Plumber?
fire protection engineer.
Oh.
I got 6 engineers,
Oh, for that one,
2,000
Oh.
square feet, 6 engineers.
wow.
And I got plans that are,
Oh,
yeah, because they gotta know everything, and I've had a level 1 environmental study and a level 2 environmental study. We've tested the soil for gasoline, we've done environmental justice, we've done, and we had to take environmental justice out.
oh, gee.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's what we've been doing for over a year, it's really frustrating.
Yeah.
Definitely when you're spending any federal money, it's just, get ready for this.
Well, good luck.
You good? Thank you guys.
Thank you guys.
Have a good Christmas.
You too.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Stay warm.
It's really nice out.
Yikes.
All right, Jonah.
Okay, where were we?
We are
My turn?
No, what,
Yeah, okay.
what about the road commissioner?
Oh, I apologize. I
No
did.
worries.
Yeah.
I like Alfie. I want him to go first.
He's always interesting. I mean, not that you're, not that you're-
Sorry about that, Alfie.
No, it's all good.
Yeah.
I'll be short anyway. It's not
Oh, yeah?
long. It's winter.
Yeah,
It's here.
and you've been plowing.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks for mentioning
Yeah,
that.
thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
So no applicants?
So, the one that I had in mind last meeting, and I asked for, to bump the wages, he's out, he's bowed out. I offered him and he's wanting to stay where he is. So that one's out. Since then, there's 2 that are on the fence.
Oh,
One of them has applied, the other one is not yet. The one that has applied does not have a CDL. So that's my question.
does he have any
For-
experience driving a truck or anything?
Plow trucks, small pickup plow, that's
Oh,
all.
yeah.
He's not.
How does that limit him? I can't remember which trucks you need a CDL for and which you don't.
Most of our trucks require a CDL.
The plow trucks need a
Most of
CDL?
our plow trucks.
Yeah.
The 550 does not.
Okay.
Anybody can drive that, anybody with a license. The low pro is borderline, it's registered low enough, so it's under CDL, but if you load it full of sand, it puts you over.
Okay.
So, my question is, are we willing to help this applicant get his license?
We're not really in the position to, to do that. I mean, if you're
We
trying
did
to
that
get
for Peter
done,
initially.
we did do that,
Yeah, we did.
but for some reason we had the space and the time to do that, and he was a fully competent driver at the time, and
What
do
what
you
does that mean?
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I were to do that.
That means he wants to be hired right away,
Yep.
and he wants to go to work, and then he'll work on getting the license. Now, as you know, anything to do with the state takes time. There's appointments, there's this, there's that, all these things. So it could be a couple months before he actually gets his license.
couldn't he be working on getting a license? Don't you have to do things? You have to study things? I remember with
Oh, yes.
Peter, it was
Oh, yes.
an
No,
issue
I-
about using needing a truck to go and do the
He
test.
He would need a truck, he would need.
But
to
the other
use-
things, like,
He's already, supposedly, I've talked to him very briefly
Mm-hmm.
alongside the road, as I talk to most people. And he said that he tried to get his license before and failed, the written test. So he's sort of familiar with what it takes to get it. So I think that, you know, and I've also found out that it was under my impression that anybody trying to get a CDL license had to go through the school, which the school is $3,000 to $5,000 to go through. You're guaranteed your license at the end, but it's still $3,000 to $5,000. Turns
in
out,
time.
and
How long does it?
I don't think.
as I found out, I verified today, I called DMV, you do not have to go through the class, that school. So that's, one, speeds up the process, and two, it's a lot cheaper.
But how does a person get the experience that they need to?
You don't need to prove experience, you just need to pass the written test.
You need to have experience
I
in
think
order to go out there and be, putting
Well,
other people in danger.
You're gonna have to do something, because
Yeah.
I'm not gonna plow all winter.
I think
I'm
that's,
just
I
not.
think what Alfie is suggesting is that this gentleman would get hired and he would gain some experience under Peter and Alfie's experience and be able to, I assume they can drive with you in the truck or somebody in the truck, how do they, yeah. And
Yeah,
then,
if he gets his permit, it's the same with a regular driver's license. You go get you can pass the test, you get your permit, and then you have some time to practice before you take the skills and driving test.
so the helping him out, I think, if I can,
Yeah.
helping him out would be
originally-
us hiring him
Right,
without a CDL and then giving him the experience.
But once we hire him, we kind of have to start paying him, and
Yeah.
we're stuck
For
with
sure.
him, and if he can't pass, then what?
Well, there is a 6-month period, if I remember right, from the personnel policy, if he isn't able to get the CDL license. then-
Well, yeah,
there's a probation period.
Yeah, there's a probation
Yeah.
period.
And,
but,
How about this other person that you spoke to, you said is kind of on the fence, they have a CDL?
He is a Class A. He drives a wrecker. So he's familiar with big truck activity. He's a really good candidate. However, he lives in Waterbury,
That's very far.
so it's 45 minutes to get here and probably an hour during snow events. So those are the negatives. And he hasn't applied. I've talked to him, Peter's talked to him. I offered him what we talked about last meeting. And so he's thinking about it, but he's got a young family and need to move, pick up his family and move closer to here, especially this time of year.
Yeah.
That may be some of the reason why he hasn't applied yet.
And what's Peter think about this other?
Peter wants him.
Is he related to
The
Peter?
Waterbury guy or the other one?
The Waterbury guy.
He wants the Waterbury guy.
is
yeah.
he related to Peter?
Not yet, but soon to be.
Okay, I know who that
I
is.
don't wanna go
yeah.
into personal stuff
Yeah.
on camera, that's just not fair. But so far, these are the two candidates that we have, and we've been advertising for over a month.
How much time do you wanna give, this Waterbury gentleman?
How
Before,
much time?
well, I mean, I think, I'm not saying that
Oh,
the
I
board would do this today, but we could say hire the other guy without the CDL. Or if Peter really would like this, other guy from Waterbury and you all think it could work, how much time do you wanna, and he's on the fence, how much time do you wanna give him to
Right.
either say yes or no? I
Well,
guess
I'm
that's the
almost
question.
at the end of my rope with
Yeah.
that. I mean, Peter and I have been talking to him for probably close to a month.
Okay.
And, I mean, it started with Peter talking to him. And then I figured, well, maybe it would help if I talked to him, being that I'm the boss and I have some authority to offer him what we're looking at, what he may need. And so I've done that, and I haven't heard back from him. And I checked at the office today, there's no application with his name on it, so I mean, I don't wanna do anything that the board doesn't want me to do. I want out, so I wanna pick a good candidate, but I don't wanna wait much longer.
Well, we could lose, if we wait for one that hasn't applied, we could lose somebody who has applied, who may have
Right.
applied at other places too,
Right, the applicant that doesn't have a CDL lives in town, so that's a bonus. That's a benefit.
Because you are eventually gonna phase out, how, does Peter feel about the applicant who lives in town? Like, that's a good fit, or?
He hasn't met him yet, he just knows what I've told him.
Yeah.
We haven't done any interviewing process yet, I haven't even asked him the questions that are pertinent to
Yeah,
us getting closer to hiring. I just wanted to know from the board if this is an option. Do we wanna go down this road of hiring somebody without a license?
Doesn't even have a permit yet? You think he would have at least applied for a permit if he's,
Well, he's been employed as a mechanic, so.
Yeah, but I mean, if he wants to-
He doesn't need a CDL to do his job as he is.
but he's interested in driving big trucks, so I think he'd wanna get his permit at least started, but
Yeah, but are you gonna buy your cart before you buy the horse? Not
sometimes.
always. Sometimes, but not, I mean, I don't know, I'm sure that he's willing to put the effort in.
Would it be smart, and this is a question to the board, to interview this person with Peter and Alfie there? And then we'd have a little more information. I mean, I think it would be really important, since you're phasing out, to make sure that Peter has an opportunity to interview,
Oh, totally.
to be there as well, because he's gonna have to be in charge of this
Well,
person.
he's gonna be making these decisions.
Exactly, yeah,
Right.
so, I don't know that there's any harm in doing an interview, that we don't,
It's not a promise,
it's not
just
a
an
promise,
interview.
it's an interview,
Yeah.
and that takes us potentially one step forward.
Mm-hmm.
In the meantime, maybe there's another applicant that comes in, or John Waterbury has big,
Yeah, I mean, I think the big question is, do we wanna pursue somebody that doesn't have a license?
I don't know that we have a whole lot of choice, for one thing, but
the timing
second
is
of all-
not gonna, I mean, if you wanna get done, and he's not gonna be able to step in and do a route,
Well, he can drive one of the trucks you said,
No.
right?
He can drive,
the 550,
he can
which is
drive
not
the
a plow truck.
550, and he can drive with a half a load of sand, he can drive the low pro.
And do you think he's capable of doing that? We don't know that.
I think anybody can drive a truck. I think it takes time. I think it takes, you see time, you've gotta be able to have, at one point, I never drove a truck before. We all, I mean, so everybody needs a chance, is I guess my point.
Can I ask how, like, logistically it might work? Would, so they're gonna need, this person's gonna need an opportunity to drive bigger trucks, practice on town roads, plowing, sanding, doing those types of things. Would that be, because we had talked about you phasing out and, you know, going to, like, once we hired somebody, going to, you know, kind of this mentorship role for Peter. But would that include, would it fall on Peter to train this person on that truck, or would you be would you be willing to be involved in training this, whatever it
Yes.
was?
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I'm willing, my drive is to get out of a truck. I don't wanna get up at 3 o'clock in the morning and drive a plow truck anymore. That's where I'm
Yeah.
at. I'm happy to come in and work during the day, and try to train somebody or do problem solving for either the trucks or residents in town, whatever. I'm happy to do that. I just don't wanna be getting up at 3 o'clock in the morning. I don't wanna leave my Christmas dinner to come plow roads. I am done with that. I'm sorry, but I just don't wanna do that anymore in my life.
Yeah.
I can appreciate that, yeah.
So I'm happy to help manage and, you know, help Peter along in the many things that he needs to learn. My drive is to not drive a plow truck.
So-
My worry was that if we did this, and, you know, Peter's gonna have a bunch of things he's gonna have to figure out, that having to train somebody to do a new truck all by himself might be a lot to ask.
Might be
So
much,
that
yeah.
was why I asked him.
Yeah, no, I'm
Yeah.
here. Would stay for that.
So we're no closer to getting a road commissioner. So how much long-term
that-
are you planning to stay for that part of it, even
And
though?
I think that we had decided that Peter was
Yeah, I
gonna,
don't think, okay.
yeah, I think that was
We
kind of
figured that up already.
Huh?
yeah.
I think we already,
That's
It's already happening.
That's how we've decided moving
Really?
forward, yeah.
Oh, interesting, okay, good luck.
So,
I think the issue that we're talking about is hiring a new worker.
A driver.
A new
Right.
driver.
yeah,
That's what we're talking about. And I know that there's a lot of moving parts with me departing. But I can't do that until we have somebody.
I think this is,
And I'm feeling like I gave the board a lot of notice that I was leaving. And now here we are a month into snow, and I'm still doing it. I want to put somebody in that truck. I will stay and help manage and try to train. I will do what I can do. I just don't wanna be waking up early in the morning. I just don't wanna do that no more. I've done it for 30 years and I want out of that.
and
So-
we appreciate you, and,
Really?
yeah,
And we have taken
not leaving
advantage of
everybody in the
it.
lurch. I appreciate it, you gave everybody a lot of notice, so, thank
Yeah.
you. I think it makes sense, and I don't wanna speak for everybody, but that we set up an interview, with the gentleman that lives in town. Presumably you know them, you can,
Yes,
You can get it.
his contact.
yeah, and then. it would
Well, he did
be-
submit an application, so we have his,
We do, yeah.
That's right.
So it could be, the board, and you and Peter, to interview this person, and see where it goes from there,
Okay.
yeah.
how about next Monday night?
Sure. As far as. I'm
Let us know if
concerned,
he can do it.
I can verify with him and Peter's just gonna have to say sure also because
I mean, we could do it,
he needs to start coming
Yeah.
to meetings and he needs to start,
it's,
it's gonna be a transition. It's a little difficult because,
can you do a little earlier, like, I'm wrapping up earlier these
Yeah.
days, so we can do it at 5:30, I can probably do 5.
I can do 5, yes. Wait, hold on,
So that it's not so, it doesn't have to be late at night.
I'm just double checking.
Can you do that early, Diana?
Sure.
Is that the 12th? Yeah. No,
It'd be the 15th.
15.
oh my god.
Alright.
Yeah, Monday the 15th.
We'll say 5 o'clock. And then I guess just let us know if that doesn't work for,
yeah, we can reschedule.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Did you say 5 or 5:30?
let's do 5.
Okay.
And, you know, it's been almost a week since I've talked to him, so there's a chance that he's found another job too. So, not to be Mr. Negative, but there's that chance. So I'll get a hold of him tomorrow,
Okay.
maybe tonight,
Yeah.
and just, let him know that the board's willing to talk to him.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like a real possibility, especially if you guys think you'd be a good fit.
Yeah, well, I mean, more experience would be more comfortable, having a license already would be comfortable, but I think
Nobody showed up yet.
Yeah, I think with Peter, at least he had experience driving a lot of equipment and large trucks and stuff like that. That's why it didn't take so long to
Yeah.
get him all he really needed help with was borrowing the truck to take the,
He did have to take
Test.
the written test, I think,
Yeah,
three
yeah.
times before he passed.
There's a drug test too involved.
yeah,
There's a
drug
drug
test.
test.
Yeah.
which, you know, I think that's why there's such a shortage of, let's face it, I mean, that's why there's such a shortage of drivers, because marijuana's legal now. So why can't I smoke marijuana, is what guys are saying, and then, oh, because I can't get a job, well, hell with a job. And I'm just thinking that's what's going on in these people's minds. Why can we not find workers? We can't find anybody to work.
And it takes like 7 days to get that stuff out of your system to pass a drug
Yeah.
test.
I thought it took 30 days.
I was gonna say.
Really?
it's not
Oh,
that
maybe,
bad.
maybe that's.
Depends on which test you're taking.
And what is your prior?
I'm told.
So, anyway, I don't wanna get our hopes up too high, but I just
Too
want
high?
We probably should keep advertising.
enough out of you.
Yeah, we won't take that out.
Huh?
We won't take that out, but
What do you mean?
we won't take that advertisement out of the papers. Or
Oh,
have we
well,
already?
I think it's already done, whatever we had agreed to do,
Oh,
I don't know.
Put it back out there.
We
Yeah.
could put it back on the VLCT board,
Well, that's, yeah, I don't know.
cheaper option.
At least until we hire somebody and then you take it down.
But we're not, I don't think we approved Robin putting it in for more than like 3 weeks, and that was probably a month ago, so,
We have one bill, 2 bills
yeah.
for highway advertisements.
I mean, it seems like most of the time, these positions everybody knows somebody who knows somebody, right?
Okay.
yeah, it's word of mouth, a lot of it,
Hmm,
yeah.
Anything else?
Don't think so. Trucks are running good, things are working out.
And again, thank you for doing this. I know that this isn't what you had in mind, but
Yeah, well, it's down to the wire. I'm trying to finish up jobs in my personal world, and the snow came early.
sure it is.
So it's like I'm sort of pulling my hair out, trying to get everything buttoned up before the ground really freezes. So with that said, I'm taking some time off where I can in between storms. So there's some days that I'm not gonna be there, particularly tomorrow. And the 17th and 18th, I'm out of town. That's actually a fun thing.
Good.
What?
Good.
So, just so you know, I can always be reached by the phone, by the cell phone, but there's gonna be days that I'm not gonna be at the shop.
Okay.
I just gotta finish up these projects.
Yeah, well, we expected that.
Yeah. Not that that's, town has always been my priority and it always will be, but until I'm done, but I just need to get these things done. I'll be here, if it's snowing, I will be in a truck until we find somebody, but, if it's not snowing, I might not be.
That makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
Yeah. Appreciate it.
Okay.
Okay.
Thanks, Ed.
All right, now for real, Jonah, I think.
They're ready. There's nobody else left here, right?
Oh, boy.
So I sent you guys this right before, so I'm sure you haven't seen it. So, take a look at that before I actually ask you those questions here. There's some things, as you all know, you were all there, at the ZBA. Oh, I should say, I'm here today in the official capacity as chair of the zoning board of adjustment. And where we are on the process right now is we held the hearing that you were all at, and we have a deliberative session with the zoning board of adjustment coming up on Thursday, where we'll review what was discussed. We'll see if we have any questions, either as a group for you all or for Swenson's. I suspect we won't make a determination on Thursday, but we could, in theory. And so, you know, the standard by which we are going to make a determination is whether or not the expansion has any detrimental effects on the town above and beyond what's already happening. And so there's a few questions that I had that I think may speak to that in terms of things that you all either may be engaged in right now or may know. And Lizzie and I were talking a little bit about this, and so I thought that these were all questions that might be good to do here in public, since I think there's a lot of interest around this decision. But if it's better that I send these to you, you know, via email, and it's not, you know, and you have time or whatever, but you let me know, and then I will ask them in public if you think this is the right forum.
Okay. I can answer a couple of these.
Yeah, and I don't know that you'll be able to answer them all here, or if you'll be able to answer all of them at all, but if we think we're good, I'll just go through them now.
I
I
think
think
we're
we're
good,
good.
there's no reason to,
Great, excellent.
because some of these are the questions that I had as well.
Yeah,
I'm not gonna be able to answer.
yeah, and I don't know, like I said, I'm not sure whether, you know, where we go with, you know, whether we'll get them all here or not. I didn't print out one for myself, so I didn't mind
Here,
here.
you can have this one.
Okay.
I can
Here
look
we
over
can
this.
share.
Thanks. And Alfie, if you got a minute, there's at least one of these questions that might pertain to you, so if you don't mind, yeah, that'd be great. Okay, so, the first one, are you all in negotiations with Swenson's right now about how much they pay the town?
Well, it's really not, you know, something that has to do with the Board of Adjustment. It's really something that would have to do with the Act 250 process, but I'd rather get it going before then. So I've been working up some numbers and working on a proposal that I'll bring to the board. And as far as, so as far as how much they pay, I think there's a question here about how is the amount that Swenson pays currently determined. It is, you know, the 6.5 cents, we trust them to keep track of it in their normal bookkeeping ways, the way they charge. You know, they have the guys up there with their little laser pointers, and they figure out how many cubic feet are in a piece of granite, even though it might not look square. They make it square.
But it's them self-reporting.
Exactly. And the same thing with the number of trucks per day. I mean, it's like when they buy gravel, they always get a slip, and the people who are selling the material give them a slip and send them a bill, and it's a big corporation. I'm sure they don't.
But does
do
the
that.
town even track that, how many trucks are going up? Yeah,
No.
so there's no tracking
No.
of it, okay.
No.
And there's no reporting of it, right? They're not reporting how many trucks go up.
That's right. They don't. Yeah.
Okay.
Currently, they don't. They
Okay.
just do the number of cubic feet.
I mean, I think that they did tell us at that board
Meeting.
adjustment meeting how many trucks they were currently running. But it's
Ish.
not, yeah.
They
yeah,
sort of
it's
told
like-
us,
I think
you
they said
know,
9 or something, 18,
Yeah, I
18
mean-
trips a day or something like that.
I mean, they
Sure,
said what their
varies,
average
too.
was, but they also didn't say, they also said that they gave a number for a max.
Yeah,
but
they
again,
have
you
a
know.
number that they're approved for,
Yeah.
but I
Right.
don't think they're
Yeah.
anywhere close to that. But the 50, the more I read this stuff, I realize that the 50 includes, it's not 50 more.
True,
It's 50 including whatever they're doing with the dimensional stone.
true, yeah.
Which I think is 14 currently.
Yeah, I think
I think
so.
14 is, and they're only running 9.
Right.
Yeah.
Yep. And then, there, I mean, in terms of like overweight trucks, they're not supposed to use their Jake brake coming down the road, but, from what we hear, there's no enforcement. There's
No,
no,
and-
right,
Not on
Something
our
I
end.
read recently
Yeah.
said they can't really restrict that
right,
because it is a
a safety
feature
issue.
that's, they need to use it.
Right.
I don't think they use it just to be loud.
I don't know enough about driving trucks, so.
At that meeting, I want to say that, in terms of some of this the enforcement for noise or, maybe this is what you're getting at with environmental auditing, that would be done by state agencies, is what they suggested. So if there was a complaint, it would be followed up by, is that what you gathered? from
Well,
that- from
I
that
mean,
meeting?
I certainly think that's true for any of the, in terms of the waterways and that kind of thing, that's clearly true.
Yeah.
But I don't think there's anybody monitoring the noise
Noise,
pollution.
yeah, that's really
you
a
know.
tough one.
Yeah, well, and the standard that they're using, they're almost never gonna be in violation of it. Because it's not a peak, it's an average.
Yeah, right.
Right, so it's an average over an hour, so, it really depends on, they're never with blasting will they be over, I mean, blasting is so short,
Right.
you're never gonna be in violation for that. It's, now, the crusher, they might be, I don't know, we'll see, but again, there's no one monitoring it, so,
Well, there's always, if there's a situation where somebody thinks that there's violations going on, private citizens can do monitoring and then turn it into the state. We can't expect the state enforcement officer to stand out there on the road and with his little,
Why wouldn't you expect that?
because they have more important things to do.
Well,
I mean,
If
wait a minute,
there's
if
there's
some-
a s-
If someone makes a complaint about a crusher running 8 hours a day and the dB level is above 55 decibels, why wouldn't the state come out?
maybe
Especially
they
if they're
would.
in violation of an Act 250 permit or,
well, in that scenario, they should, I mean, the question is whether the town should be requiring some interval monitoring.
sure.
At some point,
yeah.
certainly I agree with you, Skip, in the case of a complaint, then yes, they should come out, but what you're saying is they're not gonna be out there every day, and I
Right.
certainly wouldn't expect that.
Right.
But it would be reasonable for the town to say, you've got 45 days a year, we want you to monitor once a year or twice a year or something like that, and prove to us that you're actually meeting what you say you can meet.
And that monitoring would need to be required within the 45 days of crushing though, right? Because as you said, I mean.
Yeah, it's got,
Yeah,
I mean, yeah, or on a blasting day or something, it does us no good on a day when you're just running trucks, they're.
Yeah, well,
again.
blasting is really not part of what they're looking at this year because they're not asking for any changes
Well, they're not looking
in
at
the
any of this,
dimensional.
they're not looking, they are long-term, because they're talking about new extraction
Yeah,
sites,
but that's
right,
as
so
far as
that
it-
will require blasting for sure.
Oh, sure,
And
there will
and-
be blasting,
And
yeah.
especially moving north and removing more of that hillside will be more of a noise. I mean, but none of this they're talking about doing next year, they just want this permit, or they want this approval for some time, right? None of this has a specific time on it, so. we're looking at, I mean, what we're looking at approving lasts another, what do they have left on their 100-year permit, 60-something years.
A lot, yeah.
So, you know, that's what we're talking about approving here, it's not
Right.
a next year, you know, most of the people who are complaining or upset about this may not even be around when this happens, you know? Okay, thank you for that. And then my other question, and this is where you may have some input on, do we have any sense for how much of our road budget goes to Cabot Road? You know, even
Extra, yeah,
roughly,
there have been times in the past when we negotiated with them and they asked us to tell them how much we're spending extra, and we never could do that. We just.
I'm not even
didn't do that.
necessarily asking extra. I mean, I know that they're not the only ones up there, but they're certainly, you know, they're doing, they've got the heaviest vehicles with the most amount of you know.
Yeah, we're certainly grading that road, that section of road more often.
Yeah,
And we're putting gravel in where, you know, during mud season.
right.
We are also putting extra salt on
Mhm.
because for the safety factor of heavy trucks running on slippery roads, so. But to put a number to that,
Yeah.
I wouldn't be able to do that.
Yeah.
You'd have to really, do
And
some
they-
major research to figure that one out.
Yeah, fair enough.
And Swenson Quarry did ask the town to give them kind of an estimate figure for when we asked them for,
Yeah, that's what
more
I was
money
just
and a
saying, they asked us
percentage,
to, how much
and we never really.
really costing, and we really didn't have a way to do that.
Never delivered that.
It
Yeah.
seemed to me that, you know, most of the concern from folks had largely to do around noise and largely to do around the vehicle traffic.
Yeah.
And that potentially, I don't know how you mitigate the noise, but like the vehicle traffic, I mean, there was concern about dust in the summertime. So that maybe is a heavier calcium chloride that we lay down or something like that, which, you know, it can be brought up. I don't know how you monitor truck traffic or make sure that
Well, and
certain
the,
trucks
and the
wear
hard part with the
chains
truck
or-
traffic is, it's Swenson, I mean, they have influence over it, but it's not their drivers.
They're not, right, it's not
You
their
know?
trucks,
It's
right?
not their drivers, it's not their trucks,
Yeah.
you know? And so, we're being asked to approve something that, to your point, I agree, you know, the largest detriment to the town is not actually, I mean, there's some environmental stuff, but again, that's Act 250, that, you know, that's either gonna get approved or not. But, you know, some of the most significant detriments to the town are not the people applying, are not, and so,
Can
There's
it
jumps
be
there.
asked, and this is maybe a naive question, but that, you know, because I think a lot of the worry too is like, so, the path down for those trucks is concerning for folks. I rarely go up that way, so I don't
Yeah.
know. But,
I can't hear him.
I said that well, most folks were concerned about the trucks traveling down and like leaving the lane and their lane and meeting a truck head on. And I'm not sure that there's a way to change that road, but can that be part of the requirement for
I mean,
this to say,
we
need to do
have a
something.
lot of leeway in
Yeah.
terms of our decision and requirements that we can conditionally make.
yeah,
And they can decide whether they wanna do and whether they want our approval or not, you know,
Yeah.
in terms of those conditions that we put on, we can certainly do that. I mean, I think there's, you know, there's additional signage that we would not be their job to, it would be the town's job to put up, but we could require, additional funding from them to support, you know, putting up. So there's a lot, I think, that we can do there in terms of that decision making. I mean, you'd have to say, and it doesn't seems like to do much with that road would be a pretty heavy expense. I mean, just
Well, I
the
think
parts
that's-
that I go
yeah.
up, you know, like.
the other question that I have too is, you know, it's not their vehicles.
Right.
You know, like, you go to Casella and you are driving into Casella, they can refuse you entry if you don't have a tarp, or if you don't have, why is it not possible for Swenson to say, well, this truck isn't meeting, we're not gonna load you?
It does seem like what I heard in that discussion as well is it does seem like a pretty hands-off approach in terms of, you know, what we heard from them operationally is they operate their own trucks. We assume that they have gotten all of the right permits and all of the right licensing, and that's what I
Yeah, we
heard.
could ask them for
Yeah.
more, we could ask them for, now, is like a town truck that's loaded with crushed stone gonna need an overweight permit?
Yes.
Yeah?
Well, not town, because town.
No, I mean, if it was not our town, but say another town is coming in to buy their product.
Any town is exempt from weight,
Oh, really?
yes.
Okay, so a
Even not on
contractor,
not on their town roads, on our town roads, they're still exempt.
yeah, so a contractor, for example.
A contractor, you do have to have, you have to pay overweight permits,
Okay,
yes.
Did you understand though that the grout or the crushed stone was gonna be sold right out of the quarry to a dump load truck, or it's going to be leaving in bigger trucks and stockpiled in a different place?
no, I
Or-
did,
They're crushing it, if they get a crusher in there, there's gonna be individual trucks.
and hopefully they'll,
Then that's gonna be really hard to monitor 50 truck,
50
the
trucks
truck
a day.
traffic a day.
well,
It's gonna be really
everybody,
difficult.
I mean,
Well,
like
they'll
I
have
said,
slips, you know what I mean, like if we wanted to get that information from them,
Mm-hmm.
I'm sure they'll have slips of how much they sold to,
Yeah.
you know, whatever on a daily
No,
basis.
but I think what's more of a concern is, you know, having them do a little control.
Yeah, I
Don't send
agree.
4 trucks down, you know, like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
don't send 4 trucks down all at the same time, you know, things like that.
yeah.
right?
I think
How
You
long
know,
does it
if
take to load
If
a
somebody
truck?
pulls in there at 2:15, they gotta wait until 3:30, you know, like, and you actually need to enforce that, you know.
Things like hand in hand with that, I would say would be things like having appropriate tires and or chains, like
Yeah.
you know, I think that they do have enough clout because those trucks drove there to buy something, and if they can't buy it, they're not gonna.
I wonder if they're gonna be selling that stuff in the winter. I think they said in their
Well, they-
application it would be during construction season.
Yeah, but they hauled grout all last winter.
Right,
Yeah.
yeah.
They
but
haul-
I think they probably will. I think they said they weren't gonna, they'd only be crushing in the summer.
Well, they're
But
pressing
then-
for 45 days, but they
Yeah.
they can
Yeah.
sell the rest of it during the
Exactly.
construction season, but
Yeah.
are they gonna be going up there in the winter to get, I don't know,
Yeah.
there's stuff to,
It's
So-
possible, I mean, we get these weather events, if the town's got a flood in the middle of winter and they've
Well,
got a product on the ground,
yeah.
then
Yeah.
other towns are gonna be traveling to get it,
Yeah.
sure.
So there's nothing, is there anything that the board is doing now that is time sensitive with Swenson?
We aren't really doing anything. I kind of
Yeah.
wish that we were. I
Yeah.
feel like I wish we had started the process prior to all of this, but no, we're not really
Okay.
doing anything.
I think, Colin had asked after the hearing if they could get copies of the comments that came in. Cause he'd like to be able to respond to those before they have the deliberative meeting on Thursday. Well, that's not gonna happen, there's not time for that, but we will provide them. Now, at the Board of Adjustment hearing, the board said people wanna supplement their evidence by submitting comments. They can, but then Carol Ray went on Front Porch Forum and said everybody can submit comments. So we got some comments that are just from people who are,
And is that because
Far
they were
away.
they didn't attend the meeting that they can't now?
well, if they wanna be parties, they still could apply, there'll probably be another hearing and they still could apply, but these are people who don't even live near, some of these people don't even live near.
The question you're asking, and I will admit, I have done a little digging, but haven't found the exact clause yet in the open meetings. So because the zoning board of administration is a quasi judicial group, much like this select board, we are under the open meetings rules. And so my understanding is that somewhere in those rules it says that because we will be making a determination as part of those hearings, the people who attend and make comment need to be sworn in. So the comments that we are getting from anybody who was at that meeting, with the exception of Monty Shatney, was sworn in. And so those, even though we are getting those comments after they have been sworn in as attesting that the comments that they're making are true. Whereas the people who are responding to Carol's posting were not sworn in. So we as the board, when we meet to deliberate, should not be taking those comments under consideration. Now, if we have another public hearing, any of those people are welcome to come, be sworn in, make those same comments. So that's the, if I can actually find that clause, I will respond to Carol with that citation, so that, you know, on Front Porch Forum, but until I find that.
There are also rules about who can participate as a party.
Yeah, I was wondering
We
about
didn't
that
really
too,
talk
if
about
that's
that.
true for the zoning board, if you have to be a resident of the town or not. I think everybody who was there was.
I don't think you have to be a resident if you own property and your property is
Oh, yeah,
gonna be
fair,
inspected.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even heard anything from the people at East Long Pond. There's a whole lot of people up there in the summer.
So yeah, like I said, if I find that, but it's something we'll talk about on Thursday, is that there are a few comments that came in that were, most of the comments we've gotten are from people who were at the meeting. Either saying essentially the same thing or expanding a little bit on it. But there are a couple who are not, so. But honestly, there's nothing in those new comments that's new.
That's what I
So,
figured. Like
yeah.
everything that was gonna come up came up at the meeting, right?
Yeah.
Pretty much, yeah.
Okay.
So your deliberative session on the 11th, Thursday, that is an open meeting?
That is closed.
That's
Yeah,
an
that's
executive
just,
session.
that's just us as the members,
Yeah.
discussing what we heard.
Yep.
Like I said, we could vote there, but I don't expect that we will.
It's not quite the same as an executive session because it's a special carve out for
What comes,
quasi-judicial
anything
boards.
that comes out of that meeting, so we will deliberate, and either the fact that we didn't come to a decision will be public, and any questions that came out would be public. So if we come out of that with questions for Swenson, or questions for the board, or anything like that, that will all be public. And certainly if we did decide to vote, the vote must be in writing and public, so yeah. There's nothing that will happen on Thursday that won't be available to the public at some point. And then, yes, we may decide, what I expect will happen is we'll have some questions, and we will decide whether or not we're gonna have another hearing, or whether we are just gonna get those questions and then have another deliberative session where we make a decision. So.
Now, Alfie, I know you want to get out of here, but just out of curiosity, in terms of that road and trucks coming down, is there, and you'd be the expert to tell us, is there any kind of improvement that could be made or change that could be made that would make folks feel safer, or not even feel safer, but
Yeah.
make it safer?
Well, I think that corner at the very top, if we could somehow cut that off, which is a sizable job,
Yeah.
a sizable project.
The one that goes right into the upper entrance?
Before you get there, it's like
Yeah.
just above Old Quarry Road.
Yeah.
That's very sharp, there's a couple residents right there, so trucks are coming, they're trying to get out of there, there's conflict there.
Yeah.
So that would be one thing, if you're looking for big projects, resurfacing it, I mean, those trucks just beat our gravel. I mean, we grade it, they come, it's heavy, it's a lot of weight.
Did you get a chance
So,
to,
I did not.
do the math on that?
I did
Okay.
not, but
On your
By
Okay.
resurfacing, you mean making it blacktop?
Not blacktop, no, that would cost a fortune.
Right.
But just new gravel,
New
just
gravel.
fresh gravel. Another thing is, in the wintertime, a lot of time we've gone through and sanded, we've done our route, and then if it's still snowing midday, those trucks are just starting to go at 8, 9 o'clock. Our sand is already either covered up or it's all, it's all mixed with the snow. If we could convince them or to ask them to have a truck of their own, so that on the off time, if we can't keep up with it, or if we, you know what I mean, there's times that they've got trucks coming in from Canada, these trucks aren't really dressed for winter. They don't have the right tire chains, that they're running street trucks, street tires. They're just not equipped for our back roads. So if they could have something, some way to treat that road at their convenience, because they know when their trucks are coming, they know when they're in and out. I don't, there's no way.
When they've got one versus 6 or whatever, yeah.
I mean, the other day, when we had that storm in the middle of the day, we went through and plowed and sanded, and then I was checking the blacktop. Well, there's a tractor trailer sitting there waiting. So I assumed he was waiting for sand, because, and I could see that our sand, the original sand that we put, had faded and it got covered. So I made another trip up to the new entrance, because I want safety. I want them to not have problems getting jackknifed and closing the road and all of the things that go on with that. So if they had their own truck with some sand in it, I mean, I'm not talking this year. I'm talking in this upgrade that they're adding on. Maybe these are some of the things that they could help themselves and help the town.
Randy Cleveland said at the hearing that with the woman who complained about the dust, and he said if I could go out and put chloride on the road, I would. I think he meant that it's not, it's a town road. So they might be willing to do something like that if they've got equipment
Yeah,
up there.
I think they're totally willing to work with us, but if they don't know what we're asking,
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and have our permission to do it, yeah.
you know.
So, to get rid of that curve, you have to cut into the hillside,
Their
right?
property,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
What about like if they utilized the old entrance more?
I think they do. In the wintertime, I think now they're using the original entrance.
Oh, okay, to go in
Really?
or to go out?
Both.
Both. Okay.
So they have
Winter
to,
more.
they have to plow that themselves.
Because it's not as steep.
Right.
The traveling on Cabot Road is not.
Right,
as,
it's
you
not
know,
steep.
The
Yeah, I guess,
second part of that hill is.
Yeah,
you know,
and
they
it's
have
curves,
problems.
right, yeah.
Mm.
Yeah.
Huh.
So I think they've had a few problems already this year, so they've started to use the original access.
Uh-huh.
to the
So they have to
Okay.
plow that themselves.
They do, yes,
Mm.
yeah.
So they gotta plow up there.
So they gotta plow.
Yeah.
They've got loaders with chains,
Yeah.
they've got the equipment for sure. So,
Lots of stuff.
that's just something to think about for the future when,
Yeah.
and maybe that could be part of your
Yeah.
conditions
Yep.
before you approve their,
Mhm. Yeah, no, that's
their
good,
expansion.
that's good to know, thank you. Yeah. That's what I got,
All right.
thank you.
Thanks, Jonah.
Yeah. All right. Moving on. Thanks, Joe.
Yeah, thank you.
Good luck.
Yeah, thanks.
Oh, God.
Mute.
Budget. I'm gonna say adjourn at
Alfie.
8 o'clock.
Here,
Thanks, Alfie.
Thank you, Skip.
Fine.
be in touch about, Monday night.
Monday night. Yeah, let us know.
Oh, thank
And I think we can be pretty flexible, like if you can't, you or somebody can't do Monday, just let us know and maybe we
Yeah.
can.
Does it have to be the whole board?
Probably not. I would like to do that. Yeah.
Okay. But I'm sure he'll accommodate Monday, so I'm pretty sure. But, it's been a week since I've talked to him, so I'll talk to him again.
Okay. Appreciate it.
Okay, very good, thanks. coffee came up on, I finally got it off the road though.
All right.
All right,
Oh, boy.
So this is our preliminary
preliminary.
meeting.
Too long. I know it's already 8 o'clock.
Do we have anything?
Do you
Yes.
need me to take minutes on your budget work?
I imagine we could probably we could get Michael a copy of this, right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I don't think we're gonna go too far into detail tonight.
Okay, I mean, I'm happy to stay, but,
It's up to you. And then this could be just attached to the minutes, with the links outline,
okay.
preliminary budgeting.
So is this what we're gonna use for our budget worksheet, or is there something else?
There's this guy. It should be on the table for you.
Oh, okay. I'm sure I've got it here somewhere. Oh, yeah, okay.
All right. First and foremost, I want to go over a couple of overarching ideas. The first one is a bookkeeping change that I'm going to recommend that we make. So previously, we had tracked our highway grants within the highway fund. After discussing this a little bit with NIMRIC, they recommended an alternative best practice, which I think we should adopt for next year. So they advise creating separate funds for each type of recurring grant. This will specifically be more so for the highway. There are 3 different types of grants that we usually get year after year after year. So according to NIMRIC, tracking grant revenue and expenses within our operating budget can distort year-to-year actuals. To use a really big example, we have a large grant that we're planning on doing next summer, $275K. If we put this into our operating budget at this point, it would artificially inflate.
Give us a false sense of security.
Well, it would give us, our expenses would go up an extra $275,000, which.
But our income would come up $200,000 on the income side,
Yes.
right?
But it would still artificially look like we're
Yeah.
spending
So
$1 million.
This would just keep
Yeah.
it a little cleaner.
This-
You would see,
Just put the
yeah.
It'd be cleaner.
The match, just put the match in and not the whole thing?
Yep, exactly.
But looking at it from the town report perspective, I think we could do a lot to improve the town report in terms of providing year-to-year comparison. And so something like that, I think helps them a lot in terms of looking at apples to apples to apples for that year.
So as Diana mentioned, I'm going to keep the town match. I am messing up my words today. Apparently I have an accent. I will keep the town's match for the grants within the highway operating budget. So that's just the money that we're responsible as a town is usually made from taxes or generated through taxes.
And that would stay in the highway, but,
That would stay in the highway budget.
okay. Yeah.
What we're responsible for. So a recommendation for our budget article. This was made more so from VLCT and information that I've gotten from them. So this year Vermont formally recognized the general fund and the highway fund as one single fund for reporting and interfund balance transfer purposes. So this is essentially meaning that their unassigned fund balances can be used interchangeably. So a very clear and easy step for this. Some town, let's say a town had a huge deficit in their fund balance in the general fund, but they had $300K in their highway fund. They don't have to go out and raise taxes to bring that general fund back up. They can use money from the highway fund to offset that deficit.
And currently, we don't have that flexibility, the way that we,
Currently,
Kinda
we've
do.
always had that flexibility under like the accounting standards, government accounting standards.
Yes.
But Vermont has more so formalized it in state statute, says, this is recognized both in the accounting standards and by the state of Vermont.
okay.
That being said, we don't necessarily have to vote on 2 separate budget items for highway and general fund. We can combine them and just vote on one set amount. Gives us a little bit more flexibility in how we wanna distribute the taxes that we're gonna be raising. Other towns have adopted this method. I would say that it could be a good option for us moving forward instead of
It's
doing.
funny that there wasn't too many years ago that they started requiring that we have them separate.
Really?
Yeah.
Huh,
That-
that's it.
Because we always used to have just one budget item.
I think that's a good idea. I think that there's gonna be some folks that are gonna wanna see, maybe that can still be provided, gonna
Yep.
wanna see that breakdown between how much of that revenue that we're asking for is general fund and how much of it, not general fund anymore, but how much of it is highway and how much of it is for other
Which
town expenses.
we won't change how our accounts and funds are set up.
Okay,
It's just, if, essentially in the background, we can vote on one number. If we have a deficit, we
Got
can use these unassigned fund balances interchangeably.
okay.
Yeah.
And in terms of town report, that would be really easy to do. I mean, the three big drivers are the general, but fire department is 40% of the general, so that's having people be able to see that.
Yeah.
And highways is about 50%, so sure, that would be easy to do, and if you had one article, then you'd really have a lot of them.
And if people want to see the breakdown, the numbers will be in there.
Yeah, you're right,
Yeah.
you're right.
If you do it
Yeah.
as one article, you have a lot more flexibility for contingency.
That makes a lot of sense.
Okay. Reimbursement funds. So this number, you'll see, it was 113,000. That number is incorrect. As Skip kind of discussed a little earlier.
49 something or whatever it is.
49 and 13, so what is that, 63,000? So looking at those reimbursement funds, we have unanticipated revenue. We've got the $10,000. We've had discussed previously for secondary income, or secondary,
The economic impact funds.
there it is. And then the ERAF funds that are coming in. So I would recommend that when we receive these funds, we use a portion to bring our fund balance to the recommended standard of 2 months of our operating budget. So this would look like 110,000 for both the general fund and the highway fund. Anything more than bringing our funds up to that appropriate balance, we could carry these funds forward to offset future tax rates. This leads into a little bit more of another project that I'm going to be working on.
Can I ask you to
Yep.
run over that again? 'Cause
Yes.
I'm not really sure I followed that.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if you want to look at our funds report, right, from the treasurer's report, we have our general fund. Oh wait, can you guys get there?
Yep.
We have our general fund, and then our highway fund, right? At year end, we had 103 grand in the general fund and 87 grand in the highway fund. My recommendation is that this influx of reimbursement funds are put as unassigned fund balance in the general and the highway fund. So that when we end the year, we're looking at 110 grand in our general fund and 110 grand in our highway fund.
And that 110 is roughly 2 months of operating?
Roughly.
Okay, all right.
So
I
that
follow
means we're collecting $200,000 just to make our books look good at the end of the year? Seems
I would
like a
say
lot.
it's a safety net
Well,
for
yeah, but it
operating
seems
in
like a lot.
between when the end of the year comes and when we start receiving taxes, so we don't have to take out a TAN or use a TAN. If another emergency happens, that's a way that we have this unassigned fund balance. We can use these funds to offset these costs in the future. So like I was saying, this is kind of a part of a larger project that I want to start working on. Creating fund balance policies. It's essentially just a guideline for the select board, for me, for the town to see you know, at any given time, we're going to want to have a goal of having that 2-month operating budget to protect us from any emergencies that happen or having to borrow.
And you had mentioned earlier in this that that's a recommended,
Under-
that's like a best practice.
Just like a best practice. It's what's recommended under the GASB, which is the FAA for accounting.
Okay.
So, but we could also we could start building this reserve fund for maybe $50,000 a piece rather than, I mean, when we get to the point where we're looking at our bottom line, it doesn't have to be $100,000 a piece, it doesn't have to be $200,000.
It doesn't, I mean, we could have 0 if we wanted to.
Yeah.
It's just what's recommended to protect us
Yeah.
in the long run.
Mhm.
Lizzie, you got any questions there?
No, I think I'm just trying to follow along, and I think I'm there right now.
Great. Any other questions or any additional clarity on these potential reimbursement funds that we're gonna be getting?
I guess just one question on that. These are state funds. Are we at all worried that those are gonna get clawed back? Is that a concern we have to think about?
I think maybe Skip would be the better ask
Should have asked
for
when he
that.
was here.
From my understanding, I don't really think that that's normal practice with the state of Vermont. I think with FEMA, it's a little different, especially with administration changes, more regulation in federal government. But I could research that and see, you know, what kind of risk we're actually looking at.
Or I can just ask Skip.
Yeah, you could.
I'll do that. I'll save you the time.
And there would be very little risk in that, right? In having that in the reserve fund, is that it would be there if somebody did claw it back, right?
Yeah.
We wouldn't have.
I wouldn't call it a reserve fund,
Okay.
it's just our set unassigned fund balance. And majority of our unassigned fund balance is just carryover money, year after year that we've built up.
Okay.
Right? It's that, you know,
Okay.
103 that we ended with.
Yeah, okay.
The cash in the bank, for the most part. Alright, moving on to actual budget overview. So, I want you guys to move over to page 1, that's the 3rd page in the packet. See an Excel sheet that looks fairly similar to our budget versus actual. Alright, so what you're looking at here, you're looking at what our FY26 budget was, that's that first column there. We've got our year-to-date expected and our FY26 year-to-date actual. The next column that you see is our FY 2024 budget.
FY27 budget?
Yeah.
Okay.
You guys put me at the end of the meeting.
Yeah, it's
I won't take the blame for this. Where am I? Okay, so in this FY 2027 budget, all non-grade cells were calculated by taking the projected FY 26 cost and adding inflation. The grade cells represent the figures that I entered manually. Things like this would be our annual contract amounts, appropriation amounts, annual fees that don't necessarily change, stipends, or standard maintenance costs. Okay. This draft budget also includes a 5% raise for all hourly employees. That's just a baseline number percentage that I added. It's the same thing that we did last year.
but we need to approve that, we need to make that decision at some point.
Exactly, yep. For employees who received additional raises in FY 26, their FY 27 figures are based on their projected amounts plus the additional 5%. I also updated the road commissioner salary to reflect the expected cost of the new hire. If we want to look directly at this, we can go to page 5. I'm gonna drop the bottom. And you'll see right under wages and benefits, you'll see Alfie.
Yeah.
His, the new budget item line there is about 55 grand. Essentially what I did is I just calculated the same amount that Tim Neal was going to be making and plopped that into Alfie's item line.
Who was gonna be making?
Tim Neal.
Oh, Tim, okay. Tim, yeah.
Yep.
I thought you said Camille.
Camille. Never met a Camille here. So essentially that's just a placeholder item line. I also wanted to bring you to page, oh goodness, to page 6. At the very bottom of the page, you'll see the account item line for inventory grant.
Yep.
That is a placeholder for our town match, our expected town match for the year, which will be 75 grand for next year.
What is it?
So our town match is for our grants. We've got a Valley Lake culvert that we're gonna put in.
I see,
Yeah. Total budget from Michael Gray is 275K. So it's just a placeholder right now. Because we, like I said earlier, we're changing how we're budgeting grants. Okay? So at this time, we have not received updated insurance costs for the upcoming calendar year, nor do we have new appropriations for the town, the cemetery, or the library. And for now, the FY26 amounts are being used as placeholders. I expect to have these numbers by next meeting, I'm hoping. And to finish off the fire department budget that Retta proposed to us today, that's included, the updated figures are included in our general budget right now. I went over the highway fund with Alfie and Peter this afternoon. So those numbers fairly accurately represent what the road crew would suggest for the highway budget.
Did they increase the, we usually have like a equipment maintenance budget? Or maybe that's for each machine? But we were
Yeah, that
not
would be
very
on
accurate last year.
channel on page 6.
Page 6.
Yeah.
Is that how it's done? I can't remember. Is it for each machine? Like
For each truck?
for each truck? Yeah.
Yep, we went through those line by line, and
Yeah.
we did increase truck 4, which is the 2017 F550.
Yeah.
So they increased this about $1,000. Work is needed on this truck, and the highway crew recommends pushing back the replacement year for this truck.
Okay.
They want to, oh, is it on here? Interesting. They were looking at replacing the 2008 excavator next year. So that is something that when we dive a little bit deeper into these numbers, we're gonna wanna discuss.
Okay.
That's gonna be a change on the capital equipment plan that we have. They also increased the 2019 low pro, which is truck 6. They increased it because work has been consistent on this truck. It's old, it needs some updating.
So we only budgeted 3,000 last year, right? And we spent 14 grand this year, almost 15 grand.
Right, that's the one
Wow.
I
So
have.
we're only budgeted 5 grand for that next year. All right. That's all they wanted. But,
That's all they said, but I think that that's a valid point.
okay, fair enough.
No, we shouldn't expect that kind of a surprise again, you hope.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Hey, never know.
So before we really dive into line items, I want you to look at the next page right after my report.
So it's the second page.
Second page.
Second page.
second page.
Yep.
Right? So what we have laid out here, is right now where the estimated budget is at. We have our general expenditures, is 633,827. It's about 11% increase from last year. And then looking at our highway expenditures, we're looking at about $867,001, which is about a 16% increase. Now, for the general increase, we're looking mostly at an increase in wages and an increase in insurance, which, like I mentioned earlier, those numbers are just estimated. I have not gotten the actuals that we're going to be looking at for next year. And then for highway, the largest jump is the 160,995. Be incorrect on that. That is recommended to commit to the HERF fund for next year, and the $75,000 match for the Valley Lake culvert that we're looking at next year.
We
That's-
came up with that 75 grand. For
That is what we are responsible
Yep,
for.
yep.
Yep, for that grant.
Yep. Okay.
So those are the 4 big ticket items that are really driving our budget up. We can always discuss what we want to put in the capital equipment plan. We have a recommended amount, but that can always be negotiated. We can talk about that.
Where's that?
So,
Capital equipment?
the HERF fund is, where are we? HERF fund is on page 6.
So the HERF fund supports our capital equipment plan.
Yes.
Got it.
Yep. And it's at the top of the page. 160,950 compared to last year's 90,000.
But they're recommending that we're going to at some point need to replace
The excavator.
the excavator.
The 2 next trucks are the excavator. They want to do that next summer, and then 2 years, 1 to 2 years after that, replacing the F-550.
All right.
Any questions on what I've discussed so far?
No, this is awesome though.
Yeah.
This ahead of time.
It is.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is gonna make going into this a little less.
I'm sorry how I responded when you asked me about that other grant I was talking about with Michael.
Oh,
Because if we do end up getting that, that's the USDA grant that he's been talking about for the armoring the Cabot Road.
okay.
The side, the side that's falling in. So I was asking him to put together some numbers so we can ask for some reimbursement.
So, with all this being laid out, how do we want to move forward with our next budgeting meeting? Do we want to discuss specific item lines at the next select board meeting, or create, I know we had discussed whether or not we wanted to create an additional meeting for budgeting, or have it at the next select board meeting?
I feel like I have a hard enough time with this stuff that for me it would be easier to be focused on it in a
Okay.
special meeting when we haven't already talked about like 700 other things.
That's a legitimate
Yeah.
request.
Yes.
Yeah.
So we could also shoehorn that in next Monday night if we wanted to.
We could after I can't imagine that
Wouldn't last
meeting
that
would go
long.
that
Can you do that,
long.
Lily?
let's see, next Monday, first day of Hanukkah, but looks like I'm completely open. Yep.
If everybody's in agreement, then let's do that. It's not a-
What time are we thinking?
Well, that interview's at 5. I
Okay.
can't imagine it's gonna last, maybe we'd have some conversation afterwards, right?
Right.
If we're all gonna be there, we need to warn that meeting as well.
Yep.
Oh, that's right, yeah.
And 5:45?
I think that makes sense. Now, what portion of the budget, and I'm only asking this because last year we sort of broke it up into like highway and non-highway, and the times that we discussed highway, we had Alfie part of the discussion. Would we be expecting to wanna have Alfie in that part of the conversation too, or?
I would think that it would, I mean, it's a large portion
Yeah.
of what we raise in taxes, and I think maybe getting it out of the way and set at our next meeting.
And he'll be there, so
Yeah.
it would be
Yeah.
probably convenient.
And Pete will be, well,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Pete'll be there too.
Mm-hmm.
But,
Should be good too.
but he already had input into these numbers.
yeah.
Correct.
even though-
So,
Yeah. So maybe it's not necessarily, I don't wanna be redundant, like if, I know you've already talked to them, so like, if you don't feel like we need to, that's good, you know,
I
if
think
we
it would
need
be,
to.
I think it would be nice to have Alfie there. There's been some changes and some item lines that he could speak to better than I can.
Okay, sure.
but you might, yeah, but
Or if we decide to tweak something, he can give input on.
Yeah.
that's right, he's
That-
gonna be here anyways for that interview.
Well,
Yeah.
possibly we could just kind of ask him for some input at the beginning so he could take off if she doesn't have to stay. I don't know if this is a crazy request, but and I'm not even sure it's possible, but, you know, for me, it's hard for me to say, well, an 11% increase or a 16% increase, like, what does that really mean? And what's always been helpful to me in the past is like, what would that look like to
A taxpayer.
a taxpayer on, you know, $100,000 assessed value or something like that? Is it possible to put together some examples of something like that so that we can
Yes. Yep.
just say, oh my God, we gotta do something else? Or,
Yeah.
I mean, at no point are we gonna be super happy with increases,
Yeah.
but,
So if you look at page 1 on the budgeting totals, the second page of the packet, you'll see that difference, it's highlighted, right? That is what would need to be raised in taxes for both the general and the highway. At
The
where we're-
760,657, that?
Yep, that's the difference.
Okay.
And then I can very easily, you know, type that in, pull out a number, see what it would look like.
But you don't have any numbers from the library or the cemetery yet?
Not yet,
So you're just using last year's numbers, or?
Yep. just using last year's numbers.
would they have that information yet, do you think, Diana?
I don't know.
Okay.
I know the library, when I last talked to Dave, he said that the library was meeting to discuss their budget, I believe, the beginning of this month.
Okay.
So I can touch base with him, I can touch base with the cemetery to see when exactly I'd be getting those numbers from them. But they come here directly to propose the budget to you, correct?
They just send it right?
Not always.
This is great.
Uh-huh.
Yeah,
Thanks.
it's a great start.
Yeah, of course. Like I had mentioned earlier, once we get a decision from you guys on what we want the cost of living or inflation raise to be next year, this will come together a little bit better.
Okay.
Last year we did 5%, is that
Yep.
right? Yep.
And that's what's mimicked in the
Yeah.
budget right now.
All right, I guess we can dig into it on Monday, unless you have other
Yeah,
stuff you
no.
wanna.
That's about
Any
it.
other questions? I don't wanna cut everybody off.
I don't right now. I probably will on Monday. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like this. I don't want to say it makes it really easy to understand because I do struggle with things like this. But your overview was really helpful. It helps me understand it a lot better.
I'm glad it was helpful.
Yeah.
we have, under updates and other business, we'll take care of these other things. We have to sign the mountain, we'll talk about it, the Mountain Tamers annual request,
Oh, yeah.
or, do we have to sign that?
No, I don't
Just
think
have
there's
to-
anything to sign.
Do we have to make a motion to approve it?
Yes,
Okay. I can look at it.
I
I,
don't know if I said that.
yeah,
John, thank you.
Have a good night.
Hi, John. Thank you.
What was her request? Did we get it in an email?
Just to, I think, maybe, did I only get it? I thought I sent it to you
If
guys.
you sent
I
it in
got
the
it.
past 4 days, I haven't seen it.
It wasn't the last 4 days.
Portion of town highway, I mean,
Mountain.
as long as this is the same as it always has been, you think if they were changing something, they would have said,
This is about the
because
roads.
Yeah.
So, okay.
you saw that, right?
No, but I am familiar with it
Yeah,
from.
it's proposed that
previous
these
years.
highways will be used by the snowmobiling public in a safe and reasonable manner. However, if the select board should find it necessary to consider closing any of these highways to snowmobile travel, the mountain tamers would appreciate prior notification. So,
I'm all for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
What is that guy for?
It's like permission for snowmobiles to use portions of the town roads to
Oh.
connect the trails during snowmobile season.
otherwise they're not allowed on town roads even though, yeah.
So how does this motion sound?
Okay.
That was a question, I wasn't gonna propose anything.
Are you, oh,
Like, how do we phrase this to approve their request?
Oh, I think I'll make a motion that we approve the request from the Mountain Tamers Snowmobile Club to use certain sections of plowed highway for use by snowmobiles to access their trail system,
As outlined in their letter.
as outlined in their letter of November 14th. And this would be for the 2025 to 2026 season.
All right, there's a motion on the table, any discussion? Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
I,
Motion passes. All right, and then Diana, you had the town hall on
I
here.
just wanted to give you this is the information, you weren't here last week, but I gave one to Lizzie.
Okay,
Just a summary of the emails that have come in from Mary Jo and her,
yeah, I saw that.
yeah, great. He is a sneaky guy, sneaky fella. All right,
so just to
Thank
keep it moving.
yep. I think that would be good to have some work done on there, before anything more.
I didn't really see the reason for asking how much it would cost to cut the granite back. Because it seems like it would just be so much more.
Yeah. I
And,
just wonder if you're gonna actually be able to flash it properly without
Wondered
removing
that
the
too,
granite.
like to get it and get the nails out, just to be
Yeah.
able to tuck something under.
Yeah, I don't
Yeah,
know.
Rick said it would be
Be
tricky,
tricky.
it would be tricky.
Maybe
But-
if you pulled the clapboards
It could mean
completely,
impossible in Rick speak.
Oh,
if you pulled the clapboards completely off and tucked flashing in and didn't replace them below where the.
Yeah, yeah. Like, I don't know how you get
granite
them
is.
back in there, right?
I don't think you could. I think
Right.
you could probably cut them off or take a sawzall and like flush the nails up and then
Yeah.
put some metal back there and
Yeah.
call it a day.
I think you're right, though. It'd probably be really expensive to remove it. I just wondered if they were like set. If they're dry
Right, like, could
stacked,
you
if
just
they're
pull
dry
them?
stacked, they could be maybe lifted off and wouldn't be the end of the world. That's why I was asking to figure out how it was built. But if it's all pinned together or whatever, then
Great.
all right. And then I think if there's no objections, we'll approve bills and payroll orders off camera, so you can.
Motion
We'll
to
adjourn.
adjourn?
Yeah, we'll have a motion to adjourn.
Oh, God.
Is there any discussion?
Nope.
Hearing none, all those in favor, please say aye.
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 All right, the Woodbury Select Board adjourns at
8:35.
8:35.
I have 8:37.
8:37.